We're live. My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jakey and I are going to break down the entire UFC Vegas 84 fight card. We're going to give you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our DraftKings plays. Are we live, Jacob? We got new software, new computers, new microphones, new cameras. Are we live, Jacob?
Looking good, sounding good, man.
All right, we're live, baby.
Good,
Before we jump into this, existing premium members, this is the last time I'm going to mention this. Existing premium members, you have a survey in your inbox. You could also get to it in the Discord or on the account page on premium. It's like 30, 40 questions, something like that. But it is literally what's going to drive the rest of this year for us. It's going to determine where we invest our money. Are we investing it in an app? Are we investing it in more tools? Determining what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, what content you like, what content you don't like. And it's really going to define premium membership the rest of this year. So spend a few minutes to take the survey to encourage you to do so. We're going to take one random name of somebody that completed the survey, and we're going to give them $100 in that drawing. But premium membership, if you don't know, if you're new here and you're saying, what the hell is premium membership? First of all, welcome. This is the best show you're going to find on the internet breaking down fights. Second of all, premium membership is the greatest premium service you're ever going to find in this space. It's only $10 a month. $10 a month. You're going to get access to the most functional, best-looking website in this space. You're going to get all the bets, all the picks. You're going to get tools, insight, and information. One of those bets, I put it out. It's called the Safety Parlay. I put one out every single week for every single event. Sometimes I'll even do 2 or 3 for an event. We have hit 6 of the last 7 parlays. We average almost 2 units of net profit only from this one bet. And this average of monthly net profit includes time off. We just had a 3-week break that is built into this average. And the event accuracy is over 70%. It is the most accurate, most profitable bet in this space. That is an absolute fact, period, end of story. This is a volatile sport. You're also going to get tools. It's not just bets. There's 1,000 people out there begging you to pay for their Patreon. That's just a list of bets, Facebook style. That's not what this is. This is a full-blown interactive website. It also has tools. One of those tools is the line movement tracker. You're going to get the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every single fighter on every single card. You're also going to get detailed data, metrics, and analytics, a 38-column spreadsheet of everything you need to find your spots. Where I like to use this is prop bets. You're going to get takedown lines. You're going to get strike lines. You're going to get all of that. Work your finger across. Check out all the detailed data, metrics, and analytics. Find your spots. WeWantPicks.com. It is only $10 a month. And the last thing you're going to get is the draft. Well, you're going to get way more. But the last thing I'm going to mention, the DraftKings Optimizer. This will build DraftKings lineups for you. It'll build up to 150 lineups for you and is preloaded with the best ownership projections in the game. That's an objective fact. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's going to be more than just me and Jakey. It's going to be more than just... I know, I'm sorry. I figure there's a lot of new people. It's the first show of the year. God. It's going to be more than just me and Jakey Boy. Uh-oh. Stop tracking. It's going to be more than just me and Jakey Boy. You're going to get Artem giving you his picks, bets, round line leans, and insight for not just UFC.
I'm telling you, just pick start of the year, 2024. If you just, it's $10 a month. If you just become a premium member, I just want it to stop, man. I literally just want it to. I want the pitches to stop. I just want to get to Brazil and just kind of hang out. $10 a month. I mean, and I'll stop fucking talking about it, man.
I probably know we almost have 3,000 premium members, so I'm probably not going to stop talking about it, but we will continue to improve it. You're going to get 8 analysts. One are me, one is Jacob, and then we have 6 more analysts, including Running Mouth MMA, the MMA Minute. You're going to get the Pick Doctor. He developed an AI, so you have AI picks, some of the most accurate AI picks in the game. Anything you've ever wanted. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 a month. Follow us on all the socials. This costs you $0 to support us. We appreciate that. And if you do want to mail something, we will open all the mail on the vlogs. We do fight day vlogs. I didn't say it like that. We do fight day vlogs for every single pay-per-view, and we will open the mail. This is the address to send that stuff.
Angelo, can you answer me this real quick?
I'd love to.
Have you hired a cameraman and he's standing in front of you and filming this with it on his shoulder?
I have a very small
I see the
yeah.
camera moving around. I didn't know if that's an upgrade or if you got a full production.
No, that's a
team up
great
there.
question. There's a very small
standing
man
there holding your script.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. There's a very small man in front of me. He has a GoPro on his head, and that's what's following me around. And he also... Please follow again,
You got to
sir.
fire his ass immediately.
And he also has on the other side. It's very quick to recognize the hand gestures. He also has my script on the other side. Thank you for noticing.
Why don't you show the full potential of that thing?
What I'd like to show...
Kick that chair back and let's see what's going on here.
What's up, boys?
Oh, little chin up there. I tell you.
That's your face.
Yeah,
February 9th, Jacob and I are getting into a fist fight.
Actually, honestly, that was kind of probably a mistake because I instantly made 3 or 4 reads right there. That was fast.
Okay.
I mean, right? I don't know if you saw, but you threw that first jab. I was right here.
I also stood southpaw.
Oh, I've been prepared. I know that. Trust me. We've got a team together. We've got a team together.
Anyway, Jacob and I are fighting on February 9th. We're still working out the details of where. This might be a small-time thing at the house, or I might call the local gym and say, can I rent some space after dark? We'll see what happens. Anyway, Joey T, 32 months.
Oh, that's a little disrespectful.
Yeah, well, that's what you're going to get. Yeah. Now, you know, this is Jacob trying to look over anything because he's short as shit. Joey T.
I'm training right now.
32 months of membership. He says, hello and welcome back, everyone. I hope holiday went well. He left out the. I thought he was European for a second. If you're new, like the stream, become a member today. I promise you won't forget it. Thank you very much. Joey T. Jakey Boom Baloots. You ready to break down this card?
How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? I think we have a few things to address before we get started.
Okay, let's address them. First of all,
you want to get out ahead of it?
I don't know what fake thing you're about to bring up, but
I'm not
first
bringing
of all,
anything fake up.
Sure. I had nice holidays. Kind of sucked a little bit because people were sick in the house, including me. I did have the flu. Both my girls had the flu. My wife did not get the flu.
Do you want to?
I'm not done.
I know.
She works in a hospital.
I want you to be transparent with what you're saying. Or you can either get out ahead of it, or
I get sick once every 3 years. This happened to be that time. Yeah.
Well,
this is
do you want to know
the one time?
I mean, do you want to know why you got
6 years. Okay, I don't know where he's going with this, but there is a vlog. I did film a vlog of my holidays -6.
Is it up?
That should be out any day now. He's been editing it for about a week and a half. Any day now, that will be up and ready to go. I'm waiting. Yesterday, he said he was on the December 30th. So I imagine today or tomorrow, he should be through that.
Be featured film at this point.
What did you? I hope so, dude. It took me a week to film the freaking thing. What do you got? What
like
story were you gonna lie?
No, I mean you were. I mean, I don't want to kind of over exaggerate here, but you were. It was concerning how sick you were at one point. I think we all agree. You had a fever. You were sweating. I mean, the amount of times I had to change and wash your sheets was just like unreal. And I just laying next to you with a nice cold sponge while you were wheezing into the pillow and phlegming everywhere. But this all started, honestly. I mean, and this is, I mean, nothing. This is gonna sound crazy, but I promise you, nothing is a lie. I'm about to tell you. So about a week before New Year's. Right, Angelo's reaching out. He sees my training video. Right, I put a training video up. He's getting a little bit concerned. He texts me and web guy Josh, and he says, "You know what? Next week, that's when I'm going to start. Next week, as everyone does, right? New Year's resolution next week. Me and Josh are both like, you could just start now. You really could just start right now today. And you're like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it next week. So next week comes, and what happens? Angelo decides he wants to try to get in shape first with his diet, and he eats a salad. And when I tell you his body had never seen anything like that before, Angelo has said he's never been sick, never gets sick. Why? I'm never sick. He has one salad, and this dude has 104-degree temperature, sweating his fucking balls off at 3 in the morning for 3 days after one salad because his body saw that shit coming and was like, panic, didn't know what to do. What the hell is this stuff? Hit the panic button. But that's the true story. Tell me that's not the true story.
The salad didn't make me sick. The flu made me sick. It was flu salad. Yummy, yummy. Bonus points if anybody knows what that reference is that I just made. Anyway, a bit of an exaggeration, but I did get sick. I got the flu. Whole house had the flu except Tiffany, but she works at a hospital. I have not drank alcohol since New Year's Eve, Jake. This is sober age. This is sober age. Can't sleep at night. Shaking a lot.
Got that alcohol swell to it.
Somebody said Jacob's training video was crazy. He wasn't even sweating. That's what we're calling that, a training video? Do you know what he did? He put a tripod in his shitty little apartment gym and then just like took 6 steps on a treadmill and then punch a punching bag for 5. Training video? I'd love to see.
I literally was in there for a couple hours.
That took a couple hours? Jesus.
If you added up all the time that you ever spent inside of a gymnasium, do you think it would hit 2 hours?
In a gymnasium? I wrestled for 20 fucking years. So yes. So yes.
In a gym without the 2.5 pound weights, real man weights.
Well, when I was wrestling, I had to lift. But outside of that, no, I fucking hate the gym.
I had to lift. When I was wrestling, they made me lift those heavy weights. Okay. My hands were unbelievable.
Did you have to lift weights while coaching girls volleyball?
They actually did go to the gym all the time.
Tough guy. I know they did.
I would say they would ask me to load the 45-pound plates on the bar, and sometimes they were. It kind of wears you down after a while.
Pretending that you were pretending it was exhausting.
The funny part is that you're like this is after my junior year of high school, we had the same high school golf coach, just super cool guy, but he was like kind of getting fed up with how lackadaisical we were probably in our junior year because there was like 6 of us that were all in the same grade and we were like the best golfers. And I was the best. I mean, I was MVP, but he threatened to make us start because in golf practice you just fucking play golf. He threatened to make us start jogging and like running to get in better shape, and we were all like, "Fuck that! Like what the fuck?" It didn't happen.
Oh, good.
I think we formed
Go ahead
a union.
Break down this card. First up. At UFC Vegas 84, we are coming back after 3 weeks off. Not a month. Everybody kept saying a month. It's not a month. 3 weeks. We are back. And opening up this card, we have Felipe Bunes taking on Josh
Bunes.
Whatever.
Bunes.
Josh Van is stepping up on short notice. Not that short notice. I think 2.5 weeks, something to that effect. But he is stepping up on short notice. We got Felipe Bunes.
Bunes.
This guy is 13
what is
and
that
6.
Flag?
That's where he's from. I don't know. Ecuador?
It's from Brazil.
No, he ain't. Tell it to Tapology. He is 13 and 6 overall, 3 and 2 in his last 5. He is making his official UFC debut. He's taking on Josh Van. Josh is 9 and 1 overall. He is 5 and 0 in his last 5. And as I mentioned, stepping up on short notice, Felipe Bunes is a BJJ black belt. He's got very slick submissions. He's always looking for something on the ground. He's very fast in transitions. Very fast in scrambles. What are you laughing at?
Apparently, that's the Afghanistan flag. He's from Brazil, man.
Tell it to Tapology.
I'm looking at it right now. It's Brazil.
Tapology has the Brazilian flag there?
Yeah.
I don't know who messed this up. Wasn't me. Anyway, Bunes. Afghanistan's own Felipe Bunes is a very slick grappler. BJJ black belt. He wants to be on the ground. He wants to engage in a grappling fight. He's not a straight up BJJ nerd. I don't see the butt scooting and the guard pulling. He will strike. He'll throw bombs. He'll shoot takedowns or try to get it to the ground. If you take him down, though, you need to be ready to go because he is constantly hunting for something, throwing things up, and he will play that game. He will look for submissions before trying to stand back up. Supposed to make his debut earlier this year against Zhalgas Zhumagulov, but he dropped. And Josh Van actually stepped up in his place. He fought Zhalgas, beat the brakes off him in a short notice UFC debut. And he's now looking for his third UFC win. He's only 22 years old. Style-wise, he's a solid striker. He can be aggressive, a little bit of power. Takedown defense and scrambles are just okay. They're not amazing, but they are okay. And he's this new generation of fighter. He's not one thing, right? I said Felipe is a grappler, BJJ black belt. Josh Van fights like a striker, but he doesn't have any background in anything. He started MMA, and he's good at all the things. He'll look for scrambles. He'll look for jiu-jitsu transitions and things like that. He'll look to stand up if he's taken down. He'll look to get it to the ground if he doesn't have success striking, but mostly a striker who's going to come forward. He is coming off that hard-fought win over Kevin Borjas. I'm saying hard-fought. Pretty hard. Because he did give up a round. He had a couple of takedowns. He doubled the strikes, but it wasn't the easiest fight in the world that a lot of people thought he was going to have. Josh is stepping up on short notice, but I do think he's going to get this done. I have 1.5 units on him at minus 225. I placed that bet a little over a week ago, right after this fight was announced. Those odds dropped. If you were a premium member, you saw those odds. If you liked the bet, you hopped on and you got better odds than you can get today because premium membership is the tits. But I do think that Josh is going to get it done. I think the striking and the takedown defense will be plenty here. And I think he can keep Felipe at the end of that jab, sort of light him up on the feet, defend any of those takedowns. But if it does get to the ground, he can be in a little bit of trouble, which is why my advice to you is I would not be overly exposed to Josh Van. I have him in straight up moneyline bet. No parlays, no other bullshit. Just I'm keeping it that simple because he is only 22 years old. And this would not be the first time we watch a talented 22-year-old screw the pooch. What do you think, Jakey boy?
That's a fresh 22 as well. He's a good-looking kid. Right. I don't know. It's just silence is fun sometimes. You know, that awkward humor. But good-looking kid, too, Joshua Van. But,
okay.
Yeah, let me start with Felipe Bunes because he is a former lock of the week. Now, the fight did drop, right? That is the fight that he was supposed to fight Zalgas, and I was very confident in him in that fight. So I know him very, very well. I know all my lock of the weeks very well because I find them, I deep dive, I make sure that's who they're supposed to be, and that's why lock of the week is so goddamn successful. 27% return on investment. Video comes out tomorrow for this week's lock of the week. But I will say right now, as far as an underdog in this matchup, because a lot of times my lock of the weeks, if they're underdogs again after they win or whatever, I'll jump on them again. But this one, I just like, he can strike. Felipe is probably an underrated striker because most people would just consider him as the grappling type, but he's got long, rangy striking. It's not going to be anything that Van hasn't seen. It's not going to be anything that, Borjas in that last fight is a much better striker. So in the striking, Joshua Van should be able to hold his own. Felipe Bunes doesn't really have the power. These are flyweights, so there's not really power anyway, but he's not a really powerful striker. So it's going to come down to the wrestling and grappling. Joshua Van, in his last fight, did show off some good takedowns. Those are really, really good takedowns. He showed those off in part because he was kind of getting touched up a little bit in the striking. So that's good. He defaulted to the wrestling. In this fight, even if Felipe is landing like he does some spinning kicks, some spinning whatever, even if he's landing a good shot, even if you feel like you are kind of like maybe losing the exchange, whatever, you cannot default to the wrestling in this matchup if you're Joshua Van, because Felipe Bunes that's what he wants. He wants to engage in the scrambling, in the grappling. But what he'll also do is, even if you get him against the cage, he will do that flying armbar, jumping for guard, the flying triangles, all that stuff to get the fight to the ground. So long story short, Joshua Van is very good. He's good enough to win this fight. I think the odds are correct. Unless he starts wrestling, unless he gets in trouble and starts grappling and loses the exchange, that's where he's going to lose this fight. But I think he's going to stay away from that. He seems like a pretty high IQ guy, even for his age. And I think that he can kind of touch up Felipe, burn him out in the first round, and maybe even finish him in the second round if he just keeps it striking.
So we're on the same page here. He should win, but he is young and could make some mistakes. I agree. Don't start wrestling. And he did that in his last fight. He got tagged a few times and started to wrestle. And we were not expecting him to get tagged in that fight, right? His last fight, he was supposed to be the much better striker, and he got tagged. Good. You watched that here, right? Yeah, outside. So
yeah, had to sit in my special chair that you give me, and
because it has phone books under it, and you don't bitch that you can't see the TV.
Me with the shoulder. I do leave pretty loose. Anytime I come to your house, okay. I do leave.
All right. Anyway,
all those knots are gone.
You get
Angelo walk on your back. You're not gonna fight.
Okay. if there's new people here, he's just making up stories. I agree. I think these odds are correct. What is funny is while the odds opened at minus 250 for Josh Van, and they're currently minus 250 for Josh Van, there was plenty of movement in between. I think people just don't know what to do. I think they'll bet it. It goes a little too far. Like, he is 22 years old. Let me go the other way. And then it just keeps going up and down.
But all the way down to minus 180 and it's been up to minus 270, I think.
Yeah, I think
a few fights like that this week.
Well, that's what happens when you have like a month to just stare at odds.
Yeah, they drop these odds early too. So
very early. I mean, they have odds all the way out. Yeah, I mean, there's odds out all the way UFC Vegas 85 full card.
Yeah, this break I think did them good. They were able to kind of catch up on that side.
Yeah,
of
they
things.
did.
And by the way, after this breakdown.
Yes, thank you so much. Wow. 2024 Jacob.
2024
Look at
Jake,
patient
man.
Jake. So we're both on the same page with the pick.
Oh, and by the way, did you
There's patient Jake. Did I what?
No, it was a joke. I interrupted you on purpose.
Oh, a killer joke. No, that was a good joke. They're going to love that one. We're on the same page with the Joshua Van pick. You going to throw him in your DK lineup at $8,800? I personally am not. I don't think he's going to get a finish here. That's good money to spend.
I think there's I think there's a better finishing ability than people real. Actually, I think the under 2.5 is minus 150. Fight does not go the distance, minus 170. I think Van can, if he stays boxing with that pressure. I mean, Felipe is going to be moving backwards the entire fight. I mean, that's just the way Joshua Van fights. And moving backwards, I think Felipe eventually is going to gas, take a bad shot, and Joshua's going to do whatever he wants to. So I think that's second round finish, maybe third round for Joshua.
I don't think he's going to get a finish. I personally am going to leave him.
How stupid is that?
I'll bet you that he doesn't get a finish.
Let's look at the odds.
Okay.
Plus 140.
Well, how stupid is that? Plus 140 to get a finish?
Joshua Van fighter wins inside distance. Plus 140, yeah.
Okay, I'll bet you at those odds. $100.
I thought they'd be
Not $100. You said how stupid. $100.
Hey.
Say yes.
Huh?
Okay. Jacob just took that bet. Have fun watching that on the stream. Should open up with a nice loss.
With a bang. And then, wah, 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 wah. We making money now.
I don't think he's winning by finish. I think he'll win this fight. I think he'll jab his way to the end, light him up in the feet. I don't think he's going to win by finish. Felipe Bunes is pretty tough. If you want to unlock the rest of our bets on this fight, if you want to unlock the DraftKings optimizer, the picks, the bets, the round line leans, and everything else you could ever want, just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month.
Yeah, last time you made that bet, you did lose money to 50, baby. And that kind of hurt you because you hate that guy.
He's a complete dork. You had a story to tell?
Did I?
Yeah, I'm sure it was going to be about the odds for that be champ by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, this is just a pure... I mean, this just kind of shows the power that I bring in this space, in the industry, for this channel, for premium, for everyone watching these videos, and the kind of influence, quite frankly, that I have across everything, and especially and specifically against these books, because, you know, I'm on Bet Online, right? We have affiliate links for that. If you go to WeWantPicks.com, you can see those. I'm on Bet Online. Now they have futures. They actually added futures for who's going to be champion in each weight class at the end of the year, which is cool. It's fun to see, you know, kind of run through those numbers and stuff. And I'm just kind of scrolling through, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at the futures. I'm like, okay, we got the men. We got the bantamweight, featherweight, flyweight. Okay, here's the females. I'm looking, okay, we got the bantamweight for the females. Okay, strawweight, flyweight, female. Okay, strawweight. And I'm looking through. And the number one prospect in the entire world in women's strawweight isn't on the list. So I reach out to them. I say, listen, I got a number one guaranteed champion in 2024. I need odds for him. You got to put them on the website and give me odds for this female because she's going to win the title clear as day. It's going to be easy. The easiest thing I've ever seen. And they said, okay, just what's her name? And we'll look into it and we'll add them. I said, Amanda fucking Hebos. I said Amanda fucking Hebos. You better add that to the website. And guess what? If you go to Bet Online right now, you can get Amanda Hebos to be the strawweight champion at the end of 2024 for plus 2,000. They did cap it at $50. Unfortunately, I tried to put $250 to win $5 fucking grand on that shit. They capped it at $50, but I put it on there for what, $1,000? Easiest money I've ever seen.
Oh, and Jacob, you do have the receipts for that. You tweeted the conversation, so you're just out there doing God's work.
That's the influence.
We appreciate
it's crazy.
Yeah.
This is Jesse from Player Services. I hope this email finds you well. I'm happy to assist you with regards to your request of the availability of the line. The line was successfully posted with Amanda Hebos, UFC Women's Strawweight Champ, and end of 2024 being added at plus 2,000. Please do not hesitate to contact with any additional concerns.
Here's my number. Okay, all right, let's move on. $1.99 from Dr. Y. Is the P.O. box big enough for a UFC belt? It sure is. I did get the P.O. box. It sure is. Dr. Y is he's always emailing and supporting us from afar, but I can never tell if you're sarcastic or not. He sent an email.
Hey, now I live my life.
The email was unbelievable because the email was, you guys are fighting. Jacob and I are fighting on February 9th. The email was, you guys are fighting February 9th. That's my birthday. I would love to send a belt. I'm paraphrasing. I'd love to send a belt, a UFC belt, and for the winner, whatever. Serious question though, will it fit around Angelo's waist? And I was cracking up laughing, and then I'm like, the fact that he's serious is what makes it hurtful.
I think you screenshot it and sent it to me, and we're like, well, look at this asshole or something like that.
I was like, basically, I was like,
you were really offended.
Because I was like, the sad part is, I don't think he's joking. Like, if he sent it to be like a prick, like, oh, Angelo's fat, then like, whatever, no big deal. I get those all the time. But that one, it's like, of genuine concern, it's like, well, that's hurtful. And it wasn't in a live chat. It wasn't public to be funny. It was an email to us privately. He was
trying to be nice about it. He was trying to be private. Email. Like, it's like, hey, I'm going to get you guys a belt. But seriously, Angelo, is it going to fit? Do you think it's going to fit?
I mean, that's basically how that went down. All right.
I don't want to embarrass you if you win the belt and then you can't put it on. Angelo, Dana's around Angelo, and he's like a corset, just trying to, and then he's like, fuck it, just puts it on his shoulder.
That bothered me for at least 2 days. I'm not going to lie.
It bothered you straight into a salad, straight into flu.
I haven't drank in 9 days. What's today, the 9th? You know what I do now? This is, I drink tea.
You meditate? You imagine you drinking?
I drink tea. Just hot-ass tea.
Warm tea? Oh, my God.
Well,
what
when
it
started
if you didn't go hunting all the time, it's like it's a concern. I mean, honestly, of what you're. Ever since that vasectomy, man.
And I go, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Man. You are not wrong.
Holy shit.
I go hunting with the bros. It's really for bro time. So it does keep me straighter and manlier than I'd be otherwise without it. But when I was super sick, I was like, in the hunting group text, actually. I'm like, dude, my throat's killing me. And one of the guys sent a picture of tea called Throat Coat. Oh, and then there was a whole bunch of jokes that came from that. But I've been drinking the Throat Coat, and it's been great. It's been coating. Throat's fantastic. All right, let's move on. Next up, at UFC Vegas 84, we have Tom Nolan taking on Nikolas Motta. Tom Nolan is undefeated in his career, and he has 4 knockout wins. I've had 6 fights. Taking on Nikolas Motta. This guy's 13-5 overall, 2-1 in his last 5. He is coming off that no contest to Trey Ogden. It was a submission loss. They ruled it a no contest. Anyway, it's taking on Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan, official UFC debut, had a nice win in the Contender Series, but official UFC debut. He's a long, lean striker. when you watch tape, he's got that like hunchback, lurchy kind of like nothing crazy, but
the
a
camera
little
to show
bit.
that off. Back up and show it off.
Like a little.
Oh, I thought we were going down.
He's got like this style. The Corey Sandhagen. He's got the Corey Sandhagen going on there. Looks exactly like Corey in his fighting style, the way he's sort of slouched, his striking. I'd argue he's a better striker than Corey Sandhagen. I said that in Quick Picks a few weeks ago. People lost their minds that I could possibly imply. Somehow Corey's the greatest striker in the division. Anyway, he looks very similar to Corey in that striking style. He's accurate. He's technical. He has no problem getting into a brawl. He's got a pretty good chin. You're going to break down tape. You watch him get blasted more than one time, and he's just in that fight, seems pretty unfazed. He's just going to keep coming forward. He's got pressure. He's got volume, tons of power. Takedown defense, not great, though. I don't think he's going to need it in this fight. He's taking on Nikolas Motta, also a striker, a very good striker. That he's explosive. He's athletic. He moves well. He's got speed, diversity. He's got solid takedown defense himself, and that just sort of keeps him loose on his feet. Does a really good job being patient and then just absolutely letting his hands go when he has the opportunity. He did just get submitted by Trey Ogden. They overturned it because the referee came in, and it was pretty clear the referee made a mistake.
Fucking
Stopped it a little too early, but nothing was going to change in that fight. And Nikolas was losing the striking exchanges. That does play into this pick quite a bit. While we have seen time and time again, fighters are much better than the what have you done for me lately, right? The narrative for me right now and the narrative this week for a lot of people, and we might all end up looking stupid, is going to be Nikolas Motta. I go like this, and the camera's AI just goes to my crotch. Because you can do gestures, and it like zooms in on certain things. And I went like this. See, you're just a fucking.
I just try to be
buzzkill
professional,
loser.
but I literally just try to stay professional at all times.
What
And you're sitting here being like,
You're a fun sponge. You're a fun sponge. That's what you are.
What if it
fun
zooms in on my penis?
When you have to zoom out, it would have to zoom out.
Oh, is that so? Back up
Yeah.
and see it. Let's see it. I'll send you $10,000. You pull it out right now.
It's worth more than that. The YouTube suspension alone is worth $10,000. I'll let you sit on that number. A year's salary.
I thought you were gonna.
How about I
say,
get
I'll
to
let
keep
you
a year's
sit on
salary?
it. How about that? Then you'll know how big it is. Yeah, but I'll let you sit
All
on
right.
it.
Anyway, Nikolas Motta did not look good in his last fight. And the easy narrative, I'm going the easy narrative route here. The easy narrative is he was getting outstruck by Trey Ogden, and Trey Ogden is nowhere near the striker that Tom Nolan is. That is the easiest narrative, an easy path. I'm taking that path. I am picking Tom Nolan for those reasons specifically. But Nikolas Motta almost has 20 fights. Nikolas Motta is a very good striker, and it is not outrageous for Nikolas Motta to win. So, Tom Nolan is the pick simply because he's a very, very good striker, and Nikolas Motta looked like trash in his last fight. I am not spending money on Tom Nolan. Not at minus 330, a UFC debut, only 6 professional fights, fighting sort of a veteran here. So I'm going to leave that alone, and this would not be the first time that somebody was supposed to get the crap kicked out of him because they sucked the fight before and showed up looking good. Again, I am picking Tom Nolan. He is going to be the pick to win this fight. I can't bet on a guy with 6 fights, not here, not in this matchup. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I'm going to say something kind of really dumb, and honestly, it might be the first dumb thing. You might want to screen record this, or everyone sit down and get ready, because it might be the first dumb thing I've ever said on this channel. But I think that these odds are going to look either like, oh yeah, like of course, and I can't believe he wasn't a -4, -500, because he just flatlines this dude who's been flatlined time and time again in Nikolas Motta, or it's going to be like, oh shit, yeah, we should have known. Right? As you were saying, right? 6-0, and he's a guy that he is like one of these Steve Garcia, Trevor Peake type of guys, where it is just all gas, no brakes, in your face. And when you are one of those guys, you do leave yourself open. And one of Nikolas Motta's best punches that he throws is a counter left hand. So when you're getting a little bit too aggressive and he can sit on that left hand, he can also put anybody out. This is a guy. Yeah, this was the guy that broke my lock of the week streak. I had 10 in a row, had Cameron Van Camp, who, by the way, dating Deanna Belpita, right? Indiana guy. I mean, it's. I want to be annoyed, but you love to see it, a win for the Indiana guys. But this is a guy that broke my streak with that left hand. So he does have power, and I think Tom Nolan's going to give him a shot. Whether he lands the shot clean and gets the knockout, I think the numbers are a little bit low on that. So I'm going Tom Nolan. In this matchup, I do like his tenacity. I like the way he's moving forward. I like the way he's finishing people. And even if he isn't getting finishes early, he keeps that pace. I mean, he will just keep kind of grinding and grinding and grinding. So I like Tom Nolan here. The bet that I got, you want to talk about premium membership, guys? And you guys are tired of hearing Angelo fucking talk about it. But I'm giving you the truth right now. One of the bets that we got two weeks ago, me, Lucky Tim, some of the people in Discord that were there, because I placed immediately and alerted our members, was under 1.5. I think that's a good bet. The odds right now for under 1.5 are minus 220. Probably a little bit juiced at this point. I would have probably set the line at minus 175. The line that it opened up as that we got for premium members was plus 115. It was plus money for under 1.5. So, we want picks.com, $10 a month. It'll pay for itself. Join me. Send me to Brazil. Obrigado. I'm going Tom Nolan.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the same side of the pick. You're more confident. Actually, you bet the line, not the fighter itself. But
I think Tom Nolan's going to force an issue early in this fight. Motta's either going to find it or he's not. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So.
No, I mean, dude has almost 20 fights. But to your point, we've seen him knocked out before. But 20 fights, plenty of experience, good power in his hands, lots of actual wins in the UFC. It's not like he's just been to the UFC and got his clock cleaned. So, yeah, should be a fun fight. This is actually a surprisingly good card. There's not a ton of wild names, stuff like that, but this is a good card, and it's a fun, like, all right, let's get back to it. What time is this card? Is this a normal time?
It's good, too, that the fights that did drop, they dropped early enough to finding replacements, too.
I had Norma Dumont. She was the third leg of the safety parlay, so that sucked that one's gone, but it is what it is. I was all over Norma.
This is a good one. Starts at 3 Central. Main card at 6. Gets over at 9 or 10. I like those.
There you go. Competing against playoff football, though. But is what it is.
Oh, my God. Fuck the playoffs, man, dude. By the way.
You won your college national championship. Here, let me finish this. Let me finish this. We're on the same side of this pick. I don't have a bet. Jacob does have a bet. $9,200 in DraftKings for Tom Nolan. I think it's sort of a high-risk, high-reward play. Therefore, if you're building a safe cash lineup, you should not have Tom Nolan in that lineup. If you're building yourself a large multi-entry lineup, the chasing that $100,000 payout, you should have a lineup or two with Tom Nolan in there. It's not outrageous that he knocks out Nikolas Motta and does it early enough to get those extra points on top, but $9,200 is a big nut to cover. I'm not throwing him in a cash lineup. Do you agree with all of those statements?
Yeah. Sure.
There we go. If you want to unlock my bet, the rest of Jacob's, and everything else, weonpicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. Jacob was just about to brag about his college.
Couldn't imagine waking up today and my team not being national fucking champions, baby. Michigan Wolverines. Clap it up. Like the stream in the chat for the Michigan Wolverines. I've been a lifelong fan, and I've been on this earth for a long time, and I've suffered through a lot of misery with fucking with fucking Michigan, especially the last fucking 10 or 15 years. So they finally got over the hump, finally got it done. I was pretty excited last night.
I'm not a big college guy, but I've known for a long time that you're a Michigan fan. So it is nice to see that you're a real fan. You're not a front runner and you got yourself a championship. And it's been kind of a shitty 6 years since they brought Harbaugh in. So
I mean, it's been there was
shitty 3 and then a mediocre 2 and then a great 1. So congratulations. My brother similarly has been a diehard Dolphins fan my entire life.
Oh, they just got smacked.
Correct, but my entire life he's been a diehard Dolphin fan, and like now that they're actually good and they have a fun, cool guy coach, it's funny to see random people be Dolphins fans. It's like, listen, I'm not like I could give a shit, but I have seen how awful it has been for my brother, my stepdad, and all these other people to be a Dolphins fan. So to just show up now because they have a cool coach that wears cool glasses is fucking that's got to be so annoying if that's your team.
I agree.
Next up at UFC Vegas 84, we have Westin Wilson taking on Jean Silva. Westin Wilson, 16-8 overall. He is 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a knockout loss in his UFC debut. He's taking on Jean Silva, 11-2 overall. He's 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding an 8-fight win streak into his official UFC debut. You can see this line took off. Jean Silva opened at -350. Made sense. UFC debut. You know, got good amount of fights under his belt, but pretty one-dimensional guy. Boom, that line steamed. And I don't think it has anything to do with Jean Silva and has everything to do with people's feelings about Westin Wilson, which I do think are a little bit unfair. Because, yes, Westin Wilson's striking is that karate style, which outside of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, we don't see a lot of people have any real success with that karate style.
Well, he's best friends with Wonderboy, so...
Okay. So he's got that Wonderboy striking style, but not nearly as good. He's got those low hands, all that in and out movement, but he is very hittable. Unlike Wonderboy, he is very, very hittable. He is hesitant, doesn't let his hands go. When he does hit a flow and when you let him play that game, he'll rush forward, he'll throw heavy, super long, and maybe he doesn't have a ton of success on his feet using that range and that reach, but on the ground, he's got that long guy jiu-jitsu. He's wrapping things up, using the legs, using the arms. He'll throw up triangles. He'll get things in scrambles. Like, he's very long, very tricky, and he makes it happen on the ground, so you do need to be worried with him on the ground. On your feet, you're pretty safe. Jean Silva is going to be safe on the feet. This guy's a powerful striker. He's loose. He's creative, fun to watch. He does get into weird positions at times because he is just doing fun stuff. But he's going to go from like super tight guard, like right here, boom, boom, throwing what he's supposed to throw. Ooh. Then he'll get like wild and loose and start spinning and doing crazy stuff. What I love to see is this dude will throw, lower his level, and then bang, come to the body, then come back up to that. Striking is phenomenal. Ton of fun to watch. Takedown defense is solid. Tons of power. He's going to win this fight. He's going to knock out Westin Wilson. Jean Silva inside the distance. But these odds are too far gone. -900 is too far gone. It's what are you going to do with that? To get an extra $10 on a parlay? Don't do it. It's not worth it. We've seen it time and time again in a sport like this. You know, when he was -350, even -500, you know, slap it together with a few things. -900, I think all that value is gone. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah. I don't want to misconstrue too much of the final outcome of what I'm going to pick in this fight, but I just got to say that I have no idea, and I've tweeted this, and I've talked about it in Discord. You guys can join the Discord. Discord's 100% free, by the way. We have a lot of fun in there, and then if you consider becoming a premium member, you can link that and get live alerts. But I have no idea what Jean Silva has shown or done to deserve a -900 price tag versus anybody. I don't care who he's fighting. At this point, when I watch this guy fight, yeah, he's got power, but this isn't like some young prospect that's just been kind of mowing through everybody that everyone's like, oh, did you see Jean Silva finally? He's finally on Contender Series, and oh, Jean Silva on Contender Series. I can't wait till he gets to the UFC. He's a young prospect that people are talking about. He just isn't that guy. He probably should win this fight. Right? Because 1 + 1 should equal 2. He's a powerful guy. Westin Wilson fights like he wants to get knocked out. He's got the hands low, and he doesn't move around a lot. But I'm telling you right now that Jean Silva fights like he is a -900 prospect, but I don't think he is. And to that, I mean, he is a confident guy in there. Angelo mentioned he does some wild stuff, and he'll kind of take his time, and then he's like, oh, I'm going to throw a right hand, and now I'm fucking, playing around, and there's another right hand. And when you start fucking around in the UFC, especially against people that have as much experience as Westin Wilson, you saw in that Brito fight, I mean, debut against Joannis and Brito. I mean, that guy's a fucking buzzsaw for anybody. Took a right hand, got dropped a little bit, but started engaging in the scrambling. He didn't panic. He's a veteran in this game. He knew how to get to the legs and really threaten a dangerous position for Joannis and Brito in that fight. And Jean Silva started fucking around. And this fight slowly gets to 3 minutes into the first round. 4 minutes into the first round. 5 minutes. All of a sudden, the first round's over. And Westin Wilson's still hanging around. This is going to be a very interesting fight in my mind. I think Westin Wilson is good enough to keep the distance. If he's poking that karate stuff out, I think Jean Silva's going to be like, oh, karate, and just kind of fuck around for the first round. And then if it gets out of the first round, we'll see what happens. I think Westin Wilson has a chance to get this fight to the ground and do something. I think Jean Silva -900 is fucking insane. He is going to be my pick, right? Because Westin Wilson does fight like, oh, knock me out, please. And John Silva has that power and ability, but this is I'm staying away from this one completely.
Yeah, the value is gone. If we had a minus 400, even minus 5, if we had a minus 500 fighter here, it's like, all right, you know what? Like, he should win this fight. I don't know what the implied probability is to go from what minus 500 is probability wise, but we have a calculator on our website that will tell you. That's free. WeWantPicks.com. That'd be a different story. But minus 900, to your point, the value's gone. Westin Wilson has beaten 16 people. Everybody pretending that this guy's just absolutely awful, terrible. It's like, dude, he's beaten people. And like, yeah, Joe Anderson, Brito, okay. Cool. There's not a lot of people that could show up on short notice in a UFC debut and not have a problem. And John Silva has been smoked 2 times.
And I will say that if Westin Wilson had the striking defense that I would like to see, to be able to at least kind of block it a little bit in case, because if something comes and he's not
there's
dodging,
no defense there.
Yeah, he's getting hit. If he had any type of striking defense, I was really considering this guy for lock of the week. That's how inflated these odds are. I don't think John Silva is that good, but he does like to get hit, and that's no bueno.
No, it's 100% the biggest issue. And that karate style, you're either amazing at it, like Wonder Boy and true OG fans.
Right.
Remember the Dragon?
Ryan Hall, he's good at it.
Loyola Machida.
Ryan
Those
Hall
two
training with Wonder Boy. That's why he's so good at his kick.
Jesus Christ. Those two showed up, and their karate style movement, striking defense is incredible. Throws people off. The timing is weird. People don't know what to do with it. But if you don't do it well, then you're just that dude doing promo videos like karate. Poof, done. And unfortunately, that's what we might have here. But I'm with Jacob. There's no value on Jean Silva. It's not worth the money for Jean Silva, especially a guy. I think the gap on the ground is incredibly wide. So he's got to get it there, though. But Westin Wilson, if he stays tough, to your point, he could frustrate Jean, get it to the ground, and it could be a tricky night. $9,600 in DraftKings, though, that is where it gets tricky because in all likelihood, Jean Silva wins this fight and wins by finish. But if it's striking only, he's going to need to either drop Westin Wilson a couple of times to get those 10 points or finish him in under a minute to get near that $9,600. Like, this could be, Jean Silva could finish Westin Wilson and still only score 80 points, 90-something points. And then he's not worth that DraftKings money. You going to have him in your lineup?
I think he's gonna fuck around, man. I think there's gonna be I think Saturday there's gonna be a lot of people with him and a lot of parlays. I'm sure that's why his line moved like crazy, right? It was already inflated, so then people just started loading him into parlays. I think there's gonna be a moment where people will be like, "What is this guy doing? Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, oh no, like fuck it." We'll see though.
Yeah, I mean, he should win, and I don't think it's the worst play in the world to throw him in your DraftKings lineup. He's probably going to be the safest, or one of the safest, but he could be a disappointment for sure if he puts up 80-something points because, to Jacob's point, he was playing games. If you want to check out the DraftKings Optimizer, the DraftKings Plays, the DraftKings Insight, and all of that, as well as bets and picks and round line leans and 8 analysts worth of information, go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10 a month and is the greatest value in this space, period, end of story. That is a month. That includes every event in that 30-day time span.
That means like just my picks are, I think, under $1 a month.
Correct.
Man,
it's the great, like, no joke.
Wrong about that, but
well, I thought you were gonna be an asshole, but you were. No, it's the great. It's there's nothing in this space is anywhere near that value. Just literally nothing. And there's people out there scrambling, trying to do something because I've been shitting on the ways of Patreon, but nothing's gonna happen.
Can you do that? Now chin down though. Not chin down. Oh,
still got a little flu. A little touch of the flu.
You just tuck that chin down.
You're trying to double chin it, and I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to have that. I'm hoping that just not drinking, I'll just lose 30 pounds just not drinking. Isn't that like what happens?
Well, honestly, the way that you kind of put stuff down, it might even be.
It might be.
It literally might even be more than that. I mean,
in all seriousness, like I gotta read the calorie count on that wine. Because I'll put down a couple glasses.
a
couple glasses.
You couldn't even say that. Like your subconscious was even like a couple. Like what? Fucking
Boxes?
9 or 10 glasses.
So I don't know, but I was definitely drinking a lot of random calories before bed. So those are gone now. Had some hospital food today. I had a salad at the salad bar. You're fucked. You are fucked. Next up at UFC Vegas 84, we have Farid Basharat taking on Taylor Lapilus. Farid Basharat, 11-0. He is undefeated in his career, coming off his first stoppage win in the UFC. He's taking on Taylor Lapilus, 19-3 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding a nice 6-fight win streak. This is a very split fight in the comment section, and people are 100% positive on whatever side they're on. There's not a lot of reasonable people in the comment section talking about this fight. There's a whole bunch of Taylor by KO. You don't know. I've been watching his whole career. Blah, 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 blah. And then a whole bunch of Farid smokes. Like, there's not a lot of like, ooh, this fight could be. And the reality is, this is, damn it. Boy, it is very aggressive with the hand gesture recognition.
Let's see those calluses.
No, thank you. The reality is this is a very interesting fight. I don't know how close it's going to be, but it is a very interesting fight. We got Farid Basharat. This guy's a very well-rounded guy, very good wrestler. He's got solid striking as well. He's got that loose stance. He'll bounce around on his toes. He'll throw a ton of kicks. He's very mobile, constantly working. What are you doing, dude? Good. That's karma for being a turd. Ooh, like, the fuck were you doing? Idiot. Small ass hands. Oh, let me put it closer to the camera. People won't know my hands are fucking tiny. Oh, here we go. Mini Coke can to pretend he doesn't have little ass hands. Oh, wow. Cool. A child's football. Oh, look at me.
Oh, yeah?
Fucking idiot. You can't palm a basketball. Go get a basketball.
I don't have basketball, and I can palm basketball.
Yeah.
Easily.
Well, trash bag. Anyway, Farid's a very mobile guy. He has great wrestling, good striking as well. He's got a taekwondo stance, and that helps him move in and out, stay defensively sound. Beast of a wrestler. An absolute beast of a wrestler. He'll time his takedowns perfectly, and lots of times he'll even just use his wrestling to keep a fight standing. He doesn't even need to get it to the ground. And he's coming off that submission win over Clayton Rodriguez, where he did use that wrestling, and he used it well. He's taking on Taylor Lapilus. This guy's a fantastic kickboxer, incredible footwork, does a really good job working in and out of range. He comes in for his attacks, he'll throw a combination, and then he'll back his way out. By the time his opponents throw their own strikes, he's usually out of the pocket. Taking him down is going to be your path to victory because the striking is so good, but it's not the easiest thing to do because he defends takedowns the right way. I mentioned this a few times. You're going to see in MMA, there's a million people. Here we go.
Oh, God.
Defending takedowns just like this.
Do you have underwear on?
Just like this. Pot shotting the side of the head. Not Taylor. Taylor, hips down, stuff in the head, hips down, hips away, break the grip, defends the takedown for real. I don't know what you're laughing at. Because I go like this, and it look like
I could hear your knees.
You're going to hear my knees slam into your face on February 9th.
Screaming. Oh, my God.
All that red on your face isn't going to be from God. It's going to be from your blood vessels.
Where are the braces? You don't have the braces.
He defends takedowns really well. As I so eloquently demonstrated,
Are you out of breath?
Stuff
Wait
the
a
head.
second. Are you out of breath?
You're not going to throw some fake narrative out there. As I mentioned, he will stuff the head, get his hips back, separate that grip, and then work from there. So Taylor Lapilus defends takedowns well. And it's going to be important to see how well, because I do think Farid's going to come in, he's going to shoot takedowns, and Farid, I think, wins this fight. I think his striking is capable. He's not going to be the better striker, but I think it is capable, and the wrestling is going to be too good. Farid Basharat should win this fight. I think he's going to get it done. We just watched Taylor get taken down twice by Colin Loughran. That guy sucks. And if Farid's taking him down, or if Cowan's taking him down twice, Farid's taking him down twice. Taylor was way too hesitant in his last fight. That hesitation is just going to give Farid all the openings he needs. Farid's the pick. I understand this has had movement up and down as well. I understand the movement. At one point, Farid was down to like minus 180. Yeah, Jacob's in great shape. Congratulations. Short guys usually are. Show me a short guy that goes to the gym that isn't in good shape. The thing is, you have no discernible fight skills at all. We'll talk about that in the break. Farid's the pick. Very confident in him. Who do you think wins?
And also by, if you want to, on that picture. So.
Yeah, oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, a couple of blue checks liked your thirst trap. Go ahead.
So.
Hurry up, dude. Who do you think wins?
Just trying to see if I could hear your heart rate. I didn't know if it was still just beating out of your fucking chest or not.
These jokes are only going to last so long.
That irregular heartbeat. Have you even been cleared by a doctor yet?
Can you break this down, please?
We got to get you cleared, man. Yeah, let me preface this breakdown by saying I think that Taylor is a very good fighter. I think that he is a very high-level fighter. His striking is very, very clean. Doesn't have a crazy amount of power, especially, it's bantamweight 135, so it's pretty average power for a bantamweight, but he is very clean in his striking. I agree, he does have some good takedown defense. You can see when he's back, he's got the hips back. Most people are this and this and this, but he's stuffing the head, he's stuffing the head, he's stuffing the head. He's hips back, he's hips back, he's hips back. He's stuffing the head, he's stuffing the head, he's stuffing the head. He's such an idiot. Fucking... This channel is fucking. I think 2024 is like a bad start here, but he is a good fighter. The issue is, and this is going to sound bad, but it is what it is. He is French, and he is a French fighter, and he fights like those French fighters. He's a little bit more aggressive. He's a little bit more aggressive than the French-style fighters, where most of them just kind of hang back and hang back. You've seen William Gomez just kind of just wait, and they will wait forever. He will move forward a little bit, but his sense of urgency in his last fight, in front of his home crowd, chanting, they're doing this national anthem in front of him, he still didn't have that sense of urgency that I would like to see. He got taken down. He was held down by a lesser grappler than Farid. And when I see that, in France, in front of your home crowd, I get a little bit concerned because Farid is a guy that will come in and doesn't force the takedowns. I think that's what's important in here. And Angelo mentioned as well, he can hang in the striking. He's not gonna. If he was coming in and I thought that he was just gonna chain wrestle and shoot takedowns nonstop, I would like Taylor because Taylor can defend the takedowns, and eventually you're gonna wear down, and then you have nothing left. Farid is a guy that will hang on the striking, is capable in the striking, and boom, just time that takedown. And once he gets you to the ground, the way I saw Taylor getting controlled in his last fight, I think Farid has even better control once he gets on top. If he wants you to stay on the ground, guess what? You're probably going to stay on the ground. I think Farid can kind of tit for tat in the striking, be not quite in the striking, but do enough, and then boom, that takedown's there. And once he gets one, I think he's going to get a lot more. He's a very high IQ guy, and I like Farid in this matchup just because I've seen him win rounds. I've seen him understand this is a close round. I'm getting the takedown. I'm winning this round. And those French guys, for whatever reason, they just like oh, bonjour.
I was talking, it's called savant style, I guess. I was talking to a fighter, and this was for UFC France or whatever, UFC Paris, this summer or this fall. I forget when it was. I think it's summer. And I was like, dude, all those French guys fight the same. And he goes, yeah, savant style. So he talked me through it. So it is like genuinely a style, and they all do it. I mean, you're right. They're very patient. They're controlled. They're measured. It's not an insult.
No,
it's
Taylor's very good. I mean,
exactly.
He's a good fighter.
It's just a different
very precise striker. They're all very precise. When they throw, it usually lands it.
Yeah. So we're both on the same side here. You agree with the odds? You think he should be a 3-1 favorite?
Yeah. I got him. I played him, and I got him. I don't think I would have played the minus 300, or maybe it would have been a different type of play. I actually think that he might be live for a finish here with a submission. It's kind of a stretch, but those odds, I mean, they did really good with the odds this week as far as like lining people up. There were some spots I wanted to play where I'm like, it's just really not worth it. Minus 300 might be a little bit healthy because it could be a close decision, and who knows when it's a close decision, but I played them at better odds. So WeWonPicks.com, become a premium member today. It's only $10 fucking a month, and you're gonna fucking blow your top off when you see this website. It's beautiful. It's got everything you need. You sign up today. WeWonPicks.com. $10 a month.
That's your wall of shame voice. I missed the wall of shame. That was fun.
Yeah, me and my 2024.
$8,900. The only way Farid is worth that money if he wrestles his little ass off, and he might. He might. That's the only way he's worth that money, though. Bunch of takedowns, control time. That's where he's going to be worth that money. If this is going to be an in-and-out Taekwondo-style striking match, and he shoots 1 takedown, 2 takedown, that's a lot of money to cover. I do think I'll have him in a lineup or two, though, because I do think he is going to wrestle, and he's going to be worth that money. As Jacob said, WeWantPicks.com, $10 a month. Click, become a member at the top. Let's catch up on some quick chat. We have a $2 super chat from Dr. Y. Liver shot is Angelo's weakness. Hold on, what the fuck? Why am I pinning this comment?
Appreciate the donation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
But I appreciate that, Dr.
Riff Raff said, are we live streaming the fight? Here's the thing. I don't know if we're... this fucking... Here we go.
Why do you keep saying that nothing is happening on my end?
No, I see the blue. I see the light saying, oh, face tracking is off because it sees my hand. It's very accurate. Anyway, I don't know... What?
What?
I don't know if we're going to live stream it. And the reason, if I'm being perfectly honest, there's a lot of logistics that go into that. And I don't want to live stream it and have it not be perfect.
Just say no. Just no. We're not going to live stream it. It's going to be.
I don't think we're going to live stream it. So I think we're going to record it, a couple different camera angles. We'll edit the shit out of it. We'll make some really nice content. And honestly, if it goes well, then we'll run it back and we'll live stream that. I don't know if Jacob can handle.
Yeah, I don't
know if Jacob can
handle.
handle.
You're gonna have
handle it twice.
Suspension,
So Elias says, "Can we bet on the fight?" I talked to Bet openly, and I said, "Can we add our fight?" And he said, "Of course." The only problem is integrity comes to play when we don't live stream it. If it's live streamed, then betting it, no problem. They do that all the time. What are you doing? Oh, Jesus. Is this Jacob?
Go to my Twitter, go to my Instagram, or I posted a video.
It's on this channel.
I know. Of a whole, you can watch it anywhere if you're whatever, but a whole little highlight video of me just training away.
Yeah, training away. Anyway, so it loses integrity if it's not live streamed to bet on it, because then you're just relying on our word. If it's bet on, if it's live, then it doesn't matter. So I don't know if we're going to put the odds up. Somebody also asked, what are the odds? So if you ask him and you ask me, you get different answers. What Josh, the web guy, had a good idea. He said, I'll make it as a poll question. I'll make it as a poll question in the premium member poll. So we sent that out to many thousands of people. We got many hundreds of responses. And we calculated the odds of people who said I would win versus Jacob. -120 for me. I mean, if there was a sports book and we had these odds, it was live streaming, those are the best odds you'll ever get on anything. Jacob is running the greatest con of all time.
Bitch.
The greatest con of all time. Jacob,
9 scoops of mashed potato in a computer chair is what you are.
Jacob is in phenomenal shape, as you see in those thirst trap pictures. Look at him. Of course. Jacob, let me try to say this as clearly as I can into my fancy new microphone. Jacob is 5'7". Jacob has never learned any discernible combat skills in his entire life.
Simply not true.
Jacob has only ever wrestled his younger sister and didn't win. Jacob has never thrown a punch in his life. Jacob took one boxing exercise class and never went back. Jacob refuses to try jiu-jitsu. So Jacob, who played golf and weighed less than 100 pounds 90% of his life, is not winning this or any other fight. Enjoy his editing skills. Enjoy his bubbly personality, because depending on how the 9th goes, that might not be here anymore.
Guy's a fucking idiot, dude. You're just a fucking idiot, dude. I mean, Jesus Christ. Dude.
Next up, at UFC Vegas 84, we have Marcus McGhee taking on Gaston Bolanos. I said this in a couple of my videos. Is Gaston Bolanos, does this not look like a Gaston? If I said draw a Gaston, you draw this guy 10 out of 10 times.
It looks like the dinosaur that killed the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs landed right in the middle of his chest. I mean, it looks like a fucking crater. So what is going on there?
It actually, that's the only place the hair is. It does look like.
It's like we should have been wiped out again, but Gaston was just like, fuck it. Oh. Like fucking anime shit.
Bolanos. Well, anyway, Marcus McGhee, he's 4-1 in his last 5. He is 8-1 in his entire career. He's riding a nice 4-fight win streak. He's taking on Gaston Bolanos. This guy is 7-3 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off a win in his UFC debut. But Gaston has a Muay Thai background, professional Muay Thai fighter for quite a while before turning over to an MMA fighter. But Gaston's a solid striker, good Muay Thai, as I mentioned, good power, a willingness to engage. His claim to fame, both in MMA and Muay Thai, were spinning back elbows. He has more than one spinning back elbow knockout in more than one sport. He does have some big-time grappling holes, and those can be exploited, but you're going to need to get through a striking guard to even entertain the grappling. As I mentioned, coming off his first win in the UFC, and that was over Aaron Phillips, where he won that first round. He was taken down a few times, showed some pretty low fight IQ, honestly. He's taking on Marcus McGhee. This guy's powerful everywhere. Big, powerful hands, good takedowns, one-punch knockouts all over the place. Takedown defense is solid, slick submissions. He uses them in scrambles, and he sets a really nice pace. He will have that power in the first round and in the third round. He just knocked out JP Bays. And if you remember, the whole world, oh, JP's training with Marab, JP's with Aljo, JP's at the Marcus McGhee absolutely smoked that guy. Marcus is, what are his odds right now? Minus 250. They tightened from the opening odds. And I understand a little bit of hesitation. Like, whoa, Gaston Bolanos, this guy was a Muay Thai, like professional Muay Thai fighter. Marcus McGhee, he'll stand in the pocket, he'll swing. Listen, I don't want Marcus striking that much in this fight either, but if he does, I'm not that worried about it. Marcus is the pick. Very confident in Marcus. I think Marcus is going to get a whole bunch of takedowns, as he can, as he will. I also think he'll touch the chin. Marcus is the very, very clear pick for me. Obviously, Gaston Bolanos can make some stuff happen, but I think Marcus is just going to do what he needs to do here and get it done. Why were you leaning back and laughing? Is there a mean comment that I missed?
Jacob, right kick to Angelo's depleted liver is what Dr. Y said for $1.99.
What the fuck? Jesus, Dr. Y. So this is so the whole "is it going to fit around his waist" thing is a joke. Okay, that makes me feel better. Thank you. No, I feel better about it. No, I feel better.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad that this fight was next because, Angelo, you rattled off just a bunch of kind of nonsense before this one. And the fact of the matter is this is kind of like our fight. We have Marcus McGhee, the absolute fucking powerhouse athlete. And what I want to stress here is that he is an athlete. You can see in the way he's moving, with the fluid movement, the strength, the explosiveness, the striking. He's got wrestling, grappling as well. But you can just tell with his swagger and just the way that he is fluid inside of the octagon that this dude, if he did anything, he would be good at it, right? I mean, baseball, football, basketball. You put Marcus McGhee in any sport, any situation, frisbee tossing, darts, bowling, whatever it is, this guy's going to fucking dominate. And I relate to that. Being a fucking lifelong athlete, being a guy that's just honestly good at it, doesn't matter what I do. If I do something for the very first time, I'm going to be top 2% in the entire world at that, whatever it is. I'm a fucking athlete, right? And when Marcus McGhee's in there, he's fluid, he's an athlete, and Gaston is a guy that is a Muay Thai gentleman. Right? And he's supposed to be a high-level guy, kickboxing and Muay Thai. When I watch him fight, I see stiffness. I see he's a little bit stiff. He's a guy that's not really a natural athlete, but learned that he can be a good striker. It's mostly kicks. And what's the best defense against kicks? You fucking just crowd him. And Marcus McGhee is so good at his forward pressure, crowding people. I don't think the kicks are going to be there. I think Marcus McGhee's going to be all over this guy. If he turns into a boxing match, He's the better boxer, but if you want to mix it in the grappling, that's where I think you can really shine in this matchup, get a takedown, show off that grappling, maybe get another submission win. This is one of those props where they got a little bit ahead of us. I think his submission's only like at plus 200, plus 300. I thought it'd be a lot higher, but it is what it is. They got a little bit ahead of us. I think that's how he could get this fight done. I'm all over Marcus McGhee in this matchup. I'm surprised that the odds are tightening, but if they do, I might double down. I like Marcus McGhee, and I see a lot of myself in him.
To Jacob's credit, he is like
The best
Jacob's,
athlete you've ever seen in your life.
You're definitely not that, but Jacob is good at. Jacob's good at this stuff. When Jacob and I are partners in yard games, I don't think we lose. Who's beating us at stuff?
I don't lose at anything. That's what I'm trying to. That's what.
Oh, actually,
that's what I'm trying to.
We got our shit pushed in a few times playing wiffle ball against KC.
That's I don't remember ever losing. In my life.
Yeah,
I mean that's what I try to stress with you guys. I mean, there's some people that say that they're fucking competitors, right? That say like, oh, I want to win, and blah, blah, blah. And there's some people that just fucking never lose. And I'm the top 1% of 1% that never fucking loses at anything. And I just wish Angelo would take this more serious, because it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I'll try to take it serious. We're both on the same side here. $9,100 in DraftKings. I will spend that money on Marcus. I do think he gets a finish. And if he doesn't get a finish, there's a whole lot of wrestling going on, and he will score those points. $9,100 in DraftKings. I think Marcus McGhee is worth that money. What do you think, Jakey Bombalotes?
Yeah, especially and I think he's going to have a good game plan in here too. He's not a guy that I don't think is just going to chase a wild knockout. He seems like he's very within himself inside of a fight. He's he trains over there with Sean. I think somebody's mentioned in the chat. Maybe he gets that championship rub off, and being in that camp, that extra kind of bump. And I think he can. There's a matchup he can really steamroll Gaston if he comes out and shows out.
Yeah, I mean, Gaston has had those spinning back elbow knockouts more than once. But I don't see that happening here. Obviously, anything can happen. It's an MMA fight, but I don't see that happening here. Jakey Boy and I on the same side here. If you want to check out the bets, we do have bets on this fight. You want to check those out? WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10. You'll unlock everything for an entire month. Not just one event, an entire month worth of fights. Kenny Ash said yard games, because I mentioned, have we ever lost a yard? Yeah, Kenny. One of my favorite things to do, straight up, favorite things to do, and Jacob will attest to this, is have the boys over.
Give and receive massages.
My favorite day since I've lived here in Texas.
If you want to judge by just pure excitement, I think it's those massages.
Okay. I don't remember which pay-per-view it was. My favorite day since we moved here was Jacob came over, the neighbor came over, Casey came over, Bryce came over. You've seen him in some Fight Foods vlogs. We went out, we played wiffle ball for a few hours with a cooler and a bunch of beers. Then we came back to the house.
Dude, was that
cleaned up?
I think that would have been an International Fight Week, because weren't we playing wiffle ball underneath fireworks? It was just like the Sandlot.
It was in September. There was fireworks because it was homecoming. Football homecoming.
But it literally was like the sun was going down. We were losing sunlight, awesome. And all of a sudden we're like playing wiffle ball underneath the fireworks, just having the time of our lives, man.
Oh, it was awesome. Then we came back, ordered canes, and watched. I think it was an Izzy Whitaker fight, one of those, but maybe not. But we came back and watched that. The best part about the firework thing, though, is it was me and Jacob playing wiffle ball against two Division I baseball players. Both of them had scholarships, D1 player, both very good. One of them is a hitting coach, and I think he coaches professional baseball players.
And the other one struggles with his sexuality.
And I hope he's watching. So anyway, we're out there. Very unfair teams. But somehow Jacob and I get bases loaded, and I crush a grand slam. We're still not winning. We were losing that bad. Then I
think we said next score wins.
I think so too, and we did win.
I think we.
Now that you mention it, I think
that's a very Angelo thing to do. I'm up to bat. Next score fucking wins.
That is an Angelo thing to do. But then somehow we get bases loaded again. It's the bottom of I don't think it was the bottom of the ninth, but it was like, this is it. Like, we're done. It's basically dark outside. There was fireworks over my head. I was like, if I hit this home run, I fucking blew it. But that first Grand Slam.
And I'm the one, by the way. I was the
Here
one.
you go.
loading
Here's
all
the date,
bases.
September 12th.
So you hit that Grand Slam. I got everyone on base. I literally got everyone on base. You were just fucking. I mean, like talk about like headhunting when you're fighting. I mean, it was gonna be Grand Slam or nothing, and you did hit a Grand Slam.
That was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite days since we lived here. We have a $20 super chat from Riff Raff. Riff Raff also sent us those Sean O'Malley shirts, if you remember, on Mail Day.
I do. I like Riff Raff.
A couple pay-per-views ago. Riff Raff said, "So happy UFC is back in 2024. I'm hoping WWP kills it this year. Angelo, Jacob, you guys plan on going to UFC 300 or maybe UFC at the Sphere? Holy shit, is UFC at the Sphere in September? Is that announced?"
Yeah, he's doing the Mexico card there.
Ooh, dude, that's probably incredible. No, I don't have plans to go to either one of these.
You know, half those seats are bullshit.
What do you mean they're bullshit?
They're just obstructed view seats. They made it. I don't know why. I guess just because that's the way you have to make it. But they made it so.
Yeah.
Get this off the fucking screen. They made it so it like get the fucking thing off the screen. So, so the seats, so like the upper balcony's here and it hangs over the lower balcony. So if you're like sitting right here and you're trying to look up at the screen, it's obstructed view. You can't see the fucking whole screen. There's like a whole like 15 rows where you can't even see the whole fucking screen.
Well, I don't have plans to go to any one of those events.
I want to go to some pay-per-views this year for sure.
I was hoping
I can't go with the issue is I can. There's only one person I can really go with because I can't go with Angelo because he's like such a fucking prude.
What do you mean I'm a prude? I went to a fight this year.
We gotta get our seats.
I drink tea. I drink tea now.
My back hurts. These seats hurt my back.
Okay.
I gotta go walk around. Yeah, I excuse me, miss. Do you have any Tylenol for my back?
Anyway, Tylenol. No. What the fuck was I saying? Oh, UFC 300. We were hoping that Connor would headline it, and that it would be at Cowboy Stadium or AT&T Stadium.
I mean, that was never going to happen, but that was a you thing.
Well, Dana White has said he always wants to go there because it's one of the biggest stadiums in the country. Connor's the only person that could sell that place out. UFC 3, like it actually made sense that was a possibility. It made sense that could happen, but it's not going to happen. So no plans. Thank you, Riff Raff. Next up, goddamn, dude.
Yeah, this is. I mean, it's kind of your fault at this point.
7 fights left. Next up. At UFC Vegas 84, we have Preston Parsons taking on Matt Semelsberger. Preston Parsons, already on this card. Matt Semelsberger's the one stepping up on short notice. Matt Semelsberger, 11-6 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He is coming off back-to-back losses, though. Taking on Preston Parsons. He is 10-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that close loss to Trevin Giles. Preston Parsons, you could almost say this is striker versus grappler. Matt's got some grappling in there, but this is essentially striker versus grappler. Preston Parsons is a very slick grappler. He's going to shoot a bunch of takedowns, dive at legs. He has 9 submission wins in 10 wins. 9 submissions in 10 wins. BJJ black belt moves forward aggressively. He'll throw big shots, shoot takedown after takedown. He's a very dangerous grappler. He can be a bit clueless, though, if he can't get takedowns. If he's stuck striking, he can look a little sloppy. Coming off that loss to Trevin Giles, where he did drop Trevin with a borderline lucky strike, but then he gassed big time in the second. He showcased his toughness, though, but didn't really have the skills to get that win. He is taking on Matt Semelsberger on short notice. Matt Semelsberger is an aggressive striker. He marches forward. He's got solid leg kicks, good body work, plenty of power in both hands. He's got 10 knockdowns in 9 UFC fights. He's going to march forward. That's going to wilt some people. I don't think it's going to do that to Preston Parsons. And he is coming off of that loss to Uros Medic. Uros was able to take him down. And if Uros is taking him down, I'm worried Preston Parsons may be able to take him down. Let me go check on my kid. She is crying on the monitor here. You take over.
No.
I know.
Oh, God. Here we go, guys. Yeah, so I will agree with Angelo. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to take Preston Parsons in this fight. And Preston Parsons is a guy that was I think he was my former lock of the week versus Trevin Giles. And I said, if he wasn't I think he was lock of the week. I said in that fight, Preston Parsons will dominate this fight as long as he does not let himself get eaten alive by that Trevin Giles jab. And what did you see? The entire fight was Preston Parsons moving forward and just, God damn it. God, jeez. I mean, this guy was not moving his head a fucking inch to the left or an inch to the right. He is just walking forward, fucking just all busted up, but he ate a lot of shots. But the issue was, he really struggled getting in close, getting into those clinch positions, getting into those takedown positions because he was getting eaten up by that jab. But he still was able to kind of walk through that jab, eat enough shots to get in positions to try to get takedowns, and he should have won that fight. He had complete control in the third round, got a little bit aggressive, and that's what he will kind of do at times. He is definitely a submission over position type of guy. He went for an arm bar late in that third round, lost the position. Trevin was able to get on top to win that fight. It broke my heart. Matt Semelsberger is probably the better. You want to talk about athletes again, right? Me versus Angelo, right? That tubby jello-filled man that thinks he's going to fucking touch this. Have you seen the Instagram? Go to the Instagram. Go to the Instagram. Go to the Twitter. It's right here. Follow along on my journey. I've been working my ass off. He thinks he's going to fucking touch this. Get the fuck out of here. Matt Semelsberger is an athlete, just like me. He is just a fucking athlete. He does have power, but I don't think his power is going to translate. He's not going to have the jab he needs to keep Preston Parsons at bay. And I think the biggest downfall here, honestly, is going to be Semelsberger's power, because he will load up on that right hand, and he will throw a lot in that right hand. And when you load up against wrestlers and you kind of telegraph those big right hands, boom, level change, Parsons on top. And I've just seen Matt Semelsberger be controlled a little bit too much for my liking. So I'm taking Preston Parsons here. But honestly, I don't really trust either one of these guys at this point.
I trust Parsons way more in this matchup. Matt Semelsberger's takedown defense is only 50%. He has been taken down, I got the stat here somewhere. He's been taken down 12 times. 12 times in the UFC. 6 of them, yes, were against Jeremiah Wells, and that's a quality, those are quality takedowns there, but Matt Semelsberger can get taken down, and if Preston Parsons is going to take you down, then that's the issue. Trevin Giles was able to squeak that out because Trevin Giles is wildly athletic, and he can scramble, and his takedown defense is pretty good, and actually he's got a great jab, all those things. Matt Semelsberger has that big-time nasty power. He could obviously knock out Preston Parsons, but I do think Preston's going to get the takedowns. I think Preston's going to win this fight. I do have a small bet on Presty Boy, only a quarter of a unit, and I got him at plus 106 or something like that. So
I got a little bit more. I have a bet on him too, but I got a little bit more specific that I kind of like. I think if you're going to do it, let's kind of put our balls on the table and do it a little bit. You know what I mean?
I did joke, not joke.
Yours, do you have them in the? Do you have that jar close by that you have your balls in? Or does your wife just walk around with it all and she just?
It's a necklace. Purse? Yeah, it gives her powers. That's how she's like. Let me ask for the manager. That's where all that power comes from.
She around the ball. Ching.
Yeah. All the worst part is I ran up there. I'm like, Avery, what's wrong?
Be honest with this before you start. When you ran up there, how long were you standing at your? Turn the camera on.
I took a couple of deep breaths.
Put the microphone to your chest right now. I want to hear. I want to hear you wheezing. What is happening?
Trying to put the microphone to my chest.
Did you do that just to show off the tattoo?
No, I did it because you said put the microphone to your chest.
Yeah, and then there was no reason for you to really. But if you want to show it, you can show it. I mean,
this is a thick sweater.
Anyway, I mean, you obviously want to.
I ran up there. I'm like, why are you crying? What's wrong? She's like, nothing. I'm like, you're crying. She's like, no, I'm not. I said, I see you on the monitor crying. She's like, I'm not crying. That was a waste of everybody's time. We both. Did you pick Preston? You have that bet on him, but I know that's.
I did pick him. Yeah, it's not. I don't really try. He's a hard guy to trust because,
you can trust his game. You can trust his game plan, but I hear what you're saying, and because I know his game plan, and Semelsberger's got a 50% takedown defense, and we watched Uros Medic take down Matt Semelsberger, striker Uros Medic. I'm thinking Presty Boy can get it done. So we're both on the underdog here. Both have some bets. You want to unlock the rest of those bets? WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. $7,800 in DraftKings, $8,400 in DraftKings. Matt Semelsberger may be the greatest value on this card if he knocks out Preston Parsons. And he has a whole bunch of knockdowns. 10 knockdowns in the UFC. So that is very possible. But Preston did show us how tough he is.
He's a guy.
So $7,800, I'm going to spend that money. You need underdogs in your lineup.
and I'm going to steal this, I think, from Lucky Tim in Discord. I don't know if you're still watching right now, Mr. Timothy, but he basically said, like, Semelsberger's probably going to be in a situation where he knocks down Preston, immediately just jumps into his guard, gets swept, and then gets submitted. Like, that would be the most Matt Semelsberger way to ever win a fight or lose a fight. Is you knock him down, you're in the guard, whoops, let me get back up, oh, my neck's gone. And it's kind of how I see our fight going a little bit.
Oh,
with your head fucking just rolling.
All right. No slander. Next up, at UFC Vegas 84, we have the featured prelim of the evening. We have Andrei Arlovski, absolute legend. You're going to see he's listed at 44 years old. This guy is 45 years old. He is 34-22. He has 56 fights. He's 3-2 in his last 5 years, riding a 2-fight skid. He's taking on Waldo Cortes-Acosta, 10-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off his first knockout win in the UFC. Andrei Arlovski is a legend. If you've been watching UFC as long as I have, you remember the days when Andrei Arlovski ruled the heavyweight division. He was the most feared heavyweight on the planet. He was knocking people out cold. And yes, they weren't the 2.0 heavyweights that we have today, right? They were 1.5 heavyweights because he's well-rounded, has all the skills, and he's a savage, but he wasn't fighting. I mean, I watched him knock out Paul Buentello in person. And like the fact that guy earned a title shot tells you what you need to know about the division.
Big Paul, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Andrei Arlovski, very good striker, fast, good jab, technical guy. He's getting a little older. He's losing a little bit of that power. His chin is long gone, but he's got that fight IQ. He's got that savvy. I imagine in this fight, he's going to come forward, try to hold Waldo against the cage and rack up some control time there. Just last year, all of a sudden, Andrei Arlovski had a bunch of decision wins in a row. Just last year, Andrei Arlovski sort of ran through the lower bit of the heavyweight division. So he's not a complete bum. He's not out here losing 6-7 fights in a row. He's not the Tony Ferguson, you better retire, you look terrible kind of guy. But he is 45 years old. He is coming off a knockout. He has not been looking great lately. His chin is absolutely gone. He's taking on a young buck in Waldo Cortes-Acosta. This guy's a fun, athletic striker. He's going to salsa dance in the middle of his fights. He's going to let his hands go. He's going to throw some kicks. He lands an incredible 7 significant strikes per minute. He showcased on numerous occasions how physically tough he is. We watched more than one fighter just beat his legs in, and he didn't care. Didn't care. I have never seen somebody take more leg kicks and not be affected at all my entire. It's crazy how much he can just take. But when he's not dancing and playing a lot of those games, he's a very good fighter with very real power and some good skills. I think Waldo is going to blow through Andrei Arlovski. I hate that because I love Andrei Arlovski, but, you know, UFC is not a very forgiving sport, and 45 years old, a little too old to be fighting in the heavyweight division. So our Jacob and I's co-star in the upcoming film will be my pick. Waldo Cortes-Acosta is very obvious. Clear pick for me. I have him in a parlay, and I had him long before these minus 650 odds. And if you're a premium member, you saw that, and you enjoyed a little bit of a discount. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, me and Waldo kind of had our a clash on Twitter back in the day. I think it was after one of his first fights, and we were breaking down the next fight, and I made fun of him for his salsa dancing because it's what everyone said after that first fight against Chase Sherman or whatever, when he was getting his 8 legs eaten alive and he walked through it. It's like, you can't keep doing that, man. And I made fun, like, yeah, salsa dance all you want, but eventually you're gonna lose a fight because of it. And he reached out on Twitter and said, I don't know what I saw, like, I'll salsa dance on your grave. I don't know what I don't think it was that fucking mean, but he definitely was not very happy with that. And since then, he has proved that it doesn't matter. I mean, he has proven that it doesn't matter. And you know how I know that some of these commentators don't actually watch film, like Bisping or whoever, was because, like, in that fight versus Bresky, in his last fight, Bresky landed like 3 or 4, because that's what everyone does. They all attack his legs, right? Every single person.
You know you can hit him. You can definitely hit him.
Yeah, Bresky landed like 3 or 4 immediate leg kicks. Bam, bam, bam. Bisping's like, oh, he better start checking those leg kicks or it's going to be a long knife and he's going to run. It's like, No, it's not an issue. It literally is just not an issue for whatever reason. He doesn't need to check leg kicks. He just eats them. He walks through them. He lands power. And that's what's going to happen in this fight. I mean, Arlovski might try to leg kick again. It's not going to matter. Waldo is going to win this fight. Arlovski, you saw when that 2 fights ago was against De Lima. The speed at which he tapped. I mean, that thing was boom, in, boom, done. I mean, there was no, it was like, okay, this guy is like, realizes like, why, what am I doing here? You know, like, let me just, whatever. Waldo's going to win.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, good for Waldo. This is this is the UFC's formula. You use the aging name vets to build up the young up again. This is the formula. They've used this formula forever, and it works, obviously. So Waldo should win this fight. He should, unfortunately, blow through Andrei Arlovski. So Waldo's going to be the pick here. $9,500 in DraftKings. Let me see what he scored against Bresky, because that's a lot of money. There's going to be zero wrestling whatsoever. He's going to knock Andrei out, or somehow it'll go a little bit longer. So got to see what what he scored in his only UFC finish to see if this is going to be worth it. But Waldo should win, should be my finish. I checked the odds on that. Like, maybe I can get a little bit of a discount. Not much. Not much of a discount. You going to spend the $9,500 in DraftKings?
I think I'm going to,
I mean, he should win, and he should win by finish. So can't go wrong there. If you want to check out all the bets, the picks, the round line leans, the insight, 8 analysts worth of picks and insight, the DraftKings optimizer, ownership projections, the line movement tracker, the detailed data, metrics, and analytics, and everything else that we offer, WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. There are no tiers. There's no, $5 for this, and then there's no tiers. You get every single thing that we offer instantly.
Big girls don't cry.
At WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. This is the movie that myself,
there I
Jacob,
am, throwing that left hand.
Myself, Jacob, and Waldo
That's me.
Are in this.
Robert Downey Jr. get up there.
There you go, from Tropic Thunder. It's called The Burden of 9 Lives. It's not out yet. I actually got a shocking amount of messages. Why can't I find it? It's not out yet, but when it is out, keep an eye out for me and Jakey Bumbalotes.
As soon as that hits the big screen, I don't know if I'm going to be here anymore. So hope you guys. I just want to say it's been a lot of fun, and we've had a lot of great memories. And Angelo, thank you for giving me this opportunity. But I think it's time for me to start start my Hollywood career.
You're gonna Pat McAfee me.
He didn't do anything.
Barstool hired him. Barstool made him something, and then he's like, "Peace, bitches."
He didn't make him. No, he was gonna. It didn't matter if he got Barstool or not. Pat was gonna do what Pat's gonna do.
Speaking of premium membership, this is a look at the safety parlay. It continues to be a massive success. You can unlock the safety parlay for UFC Vegas 84 and every other event this month, or in a 30-day period. Not that this month as in January, this month as in for 30 days. Just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It is included in everything we do. And it is the most accurate, the most reliable, the most sturdy single bet in the MMA space. WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. Next up, at UFC Vegas 84, we have the main card opener. We have Phil Hawes taking on Brunno Ferreira. Phil Hawes, 36 and 7. It's the fucking stupid ass dog barking at God knows what. Phil Hawes, 36 and 17 overall. 2-3 in his last 5. He is coming off back-to-back knockout losses. He's taking on Brunno Ferreira. This guy is 10-1 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off his first career loss. Phil Hawes, we've broken him down a bunch of times. This guy's phenomenal wrestler, phenomenal athlete. He's very good everywhere. He's got no chin. Stupid dog. He's got no chin, but he is very good everywhere. If you watch his striking is good. He was outstriking Chris Curtis before he got caught. He was outstriking Ikram Aliskirov before he got caught. His wrestling, as we know, is phenomenal. D1 wrestler, accomplished all the things. He used to have cardio issues early in his UFC career. No longer seems to have cardio issues. We saw that in the Duran Win fight. And Phil Hawes is very tough, very fast, very explosive, hits very hard, very athletic, very technically sound. All the things. His chin is his biggest issue. He has no control over that. It is what it is. He's taking on Brunno Ferreira. This guy is a powerful striker who is light on his feet, constantly mixing up his attacks. He's going to bounce on his toes, and that helps him move in and out of the pocket really well. He's got incredible spinning techniques and a whole bunch of finishes on his record. Even though he is fast, even though he's a powerful striker with all finishes, he's not reckless. He can be a low-volume guy because he is waiting for some of those spots. He can grapple as well, powerful takedowns, slick BJJ, but mostly a striker. He is coming off that finish loss to Nursultan Ruzaboyev, where he was taken down for the first time in his UFC career. And he didn't seem to know what to do with that. Nursultan took him down, seemed a little bit out of sorts, beat him up a little bit, sort of quit on himself. Phil Hawes can absolutely do that. He can absolutely do that in this fight. I hate picking Phil Hawes in fights. I hate breaking down Phil Hawes fights because he is almost always the better fighter. Just skill for skill. He's literally almost always the better fighter. And then his chin gets touched, and he cannot help that. There's nothing he can do to fix that.
And that's almost 50 fights of being a better fighder.
But I'm not exaggerating. I'm
not exaggerating either.
Oh, okay. I thought you
were. It's almost 50. He's been almost 50 fights, and he's been a better fighter.
Yeah, the record's wrong. I get it. Is that what the fuck we're doing here? I typed the number wrong. What a fucking joke. You do the graphics. You do them. Oh, you used to, and then quit.
How about a like on the stream right now for this new thumbnail, huh?
That's what I thought.
How many times did you touch yourself to that thumbnail, to be honest?
It's a decent thumbnail. It's not
That's
great.
not what you were saying in the on
I
FaceTime.
like the neck. People seem to like the neck tattoo era. Anyway, I think Phil Hawes is the better fighter in this matchup. This will be my last ride with Phil Hawes. I am going to pick him to win this fight. We watched Brunno get taken down and sort of beat there. We've seen Brunno be low volume in the striking. And if Phil Hawes can let his hands go for just a half a second and then wrestle, he can win this fight. Hopefully 2 knockouts in a row. Obviously the 1 knockout to Roman Dolidze, less of a knockout, more of a, yes, he was knocked out, but I mean, Roman blew that dude's knee out.
Yeah, and I had fucking submission. We were on the stream. It was fucking locked and loaded for Roman by sub, and then
you let him up.
No, sorry about you.
Beautiful takedown from Phil, though. So this is going to be my last ride with Phil. I am picking him to win here. He's the better fighter. He's going to have more accurate striking. He'll be just as powerful. He's going to have better wrestling, all except the chin. The chin's the one worrisome thing. Let's hope the 2 losses in a row puts his chin down, wrestles his ass off. Phil Hawes is the pick.
Do you know what the odds open for this fight not going the distance? Under 1.5 is -250. But do you know what the odds were for it does not go the distance on this fight?
What?
Fucking minus. I think it was -1,300 or -1,400.
It makes sense.
Crazy because there is a world where Phil
just
coming
lays
off all
on
these
him
losses,
like this.
is just goes to his wrestling, and he's not really a finisher on the ground. Right? He's not a ground and pound guy. He's not a submission threat, and just kind of turns this into a wrestling match, and it goes the distance. You could have got that for like +800. I think for a touch of value there was a sprinkle. It's come down to -700 now, so it did get bet. I mean, people were seeing the same type of thing. I mean, that was crazy, crazy odds. But I agree. Phil Hawes, again, here we go. I am Phil Hawes in this situation. I am the athlete. You've seen the Instagram. It's right there. If you want to go check out, me and Phil Hawes look exactly the same. It's just the chin is the issue, and I don't know how anyone can trust it at this point. If he comes in and wrestles, he could do that. I don't think he's going to wrestle, man. I think he's going to do what he's been doing. He's going to trust himself, and maybe he's able to find a resurgence. You know, we've seen kind of Garbrandt kind of come back and kind of play it safe for a little bit. Now he's kind of stringing together a couple wins, two or 3 wins. I think just 2 wins, but, you know, maybe. But Brunno showed some ability to kind of scramble out of position versus Gregory Rodriguez.
The dog was not.
It's funny, the
camera's like, what is at the door?
Yeah, what is it? That's what I was thinking. I was sitting here earlier, and I was like, imagine if it just went zoomed in behind you at like
and there's
nothing,
a person,
and then, or just like nothing, and it just thinks it sees a fucking face. So it's like, oh no, that's not a good situation. But yeah, Brunno showed a little bit of a good scrambling ability against Gregory Rodriguez. So even if Phil Hawes wants to wrestle, I do think that there are abilities there. And Brunno was also knocked out as well. I mean, it was a kind of a weird situation where he's kind of got his kick caught, then he over the top, and then he really got his head beat in on the follow-up. But, you know, I I don't know if I really trust either one of these guys. I think the odds definitely make sense. It's probably a pick 'em. Whoever lands the big power is probably going to win. But there's a world where this turns into an over 1.5 at the plus 200, and this goes into the second, third round. Both these guys coming off knockout losses, they could both be tentative, and Phil wrestles, and there you go.
Yeah, he's 12-5. I don't know how the hell I got the 36 and 17. Is that Andrei Arlovski's record?
I think it's Jim Miller's.
Oh,
it's one of them.
That could be.
Because I think he's next, isn't he?
Maybe. Probably. I do the graphics in order, so probably.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Who'd you pick? Phil?
No, I picked. I'm going Brunno.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. He's got power, and Phil's chin is.
But you picked Phil.
Correct. Yeah, I mean it makes. Yes, correct.
I just hate the wishy-washy. I just hate it.
I made a clear pick. Nothing's wishy-washy.
Yeah, but then when I picked Brunno, you were like, yeah, he probably does win. I hate it.
No, I said makes sense.
I just hate it.
Anyway, $7,900 in DraftKings, $8,300 in DraftKings. Whichever one you have in your lineup is going to score well. One of these men will score very well for you in your DraftKings lineup. So choose wisely. Maybe not a cash lineup. I mean, it's... Oh, man. I mean, Brunno Ferreira is the safer pick if you're positive Phil Hawes' chin is 100% gone. But if you can trust the chin a little bit, think there's a little bit of wrestling in there, Phil Hawes is going to be the pick, $7,900. Pick your side in this fight. Whoever wins this fight is going to score really well in DraftKings. If you want to check out all the bets, the picks, the round line leans, and everything else, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It is only $10 a month.
I'll be rooting for Phil.
How can you not? I mean, he shows up, puts in work.
Honestly, it sucks for the sport that somebody's so talented. Just because, like you said, you can't really control it. It's not like he's like completely out of position. Some of these shots are just shots that some people eat and some people don't. He just can't. Yeah. He can't eat them. He's so fucking talented too. It sucks.
I know.
Man.
He was lighting up Iskram Alexkirov in the last fight. Lighting him up, and then pink.
I mean, we get it. You know how to say the name.
I didn't even say it well. Next up. At UFC Vegas 84, we have a Ricky Simone taking on Mario Bautista. Ricky Simone, 20-4 overall. 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that main event loss to Song Yadong. He's taking on Mario Bautista. 13-2 overall. 5-0 in his last 5, riding a nice 5-fight win streak. Ricky Simone is a high-energy wrestling beast. This guy's just going to dive on legs for the entire fight. With 100% energy, just over and over and over until he gets a takedown, potentially a submission. His biggest asset is absolutely his gas tank and his willingness to stick to a plane. He's not a technical.
Your biggest asset is.
I've got a big heart, not enlarged, just big. I would say I got a moose hang. Yep, I got a nice moose hang.
Me right here.
I think I'm kind. I think I'm generous. I think my friends and neighbors would say that I'm a good time.
All right. It's enough yapping.
So I got a couple of assets.
All right.
So Ricky's biggest is the nonstop wrestling. Just the nonstop wrestling and plenty of cardio. And he's a guy that you can trust to do what he's supposed to do. Is he going to win every time? No, he's lost 4 times. But you can trust him to just shoot over and over and over and over again. He does work in some setups. He does work in those takedowns. If he can't get the takedowns, he has some random power. We saw it against Rafael Sunsao. We saw it against Jack Shore, but it's not something you want to rely on, and you don't want him on his feet for very long. He is coming off that main event loss to Song Yadong in the spring, where he did have 2 takedowns, but he just could not hang with the striking at all. He's taking on Mario Bautista. This guy's a high-volume, get-one-to-give-one style striker. He sets a nice pace himself. He's always plodding forward. He's really light in his feet, constantly moving. Then he will plant those feet and let his hands go. He's been steadily evolving the last few fights. He's got 5 wins in a row with 12 takedowns. He's that sort of newer to his entourage. He's coming off that close win over Damon Blackshear, where he landed fewer strikes and had fewer takedowns. I like Ricky here. I think Ricky gets it done. His Mario Bautista is very, very good. Very exciting, but his takedown defense, I don't think is going to be good enough to hang here. I see Ricky getting takedown after takedown. I think he's going to suffocate Mario with the forward pressure. Ricky has had issues with high-volume strikers in the past, but most of them had better takedown defense than Mario does. So Ricky's going to be the pick. I did throw a couple of smackerinos on him at -144. He opened at 225. The line plummeted, and it's creeping back up. I got him at minus 144. Premium members, you saw that bet. You saw it in the Discord. You saw it on the website a while ago. I love it at minus 144. Very proud of myself. One full unit. Ricky's going to be the pick, but Mario worries me a little bit. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, that's probably as high as I would put that. If I was pricing this fight, I honestly probably put Ricky like minus 125. I think it's a very close fight. If this was the Ricky coming off the Jack Shore fight, I think those odds at minus 200, minus 225, I think those make sense because he showed in that fight that he can just kind of blitz forward. He showed power as well with the wrestling, with the grappling, and kind of turned upside down a prospect, honestly, in Jack Shore. Jack Shore was supposed to come in and really kind of be a guy. Ricky kind of ran through him. And then he fights Song Yadong, right? 5 rounds. And that honestly was supposed to be the good thing for Ricky, right? The pace, the pressure could wear down a physical, athletic guy like Song Yadong. And then he came in and he kind of froze a little bit, right? I think he was worried about the power of Song Yadong, and for good reason, right? We're going to see Song Yadong absolutely flatline Piotr Yan here in a couple months or a few months, whatever that fight is. I mean, absolutely smoke Piotr Yan. And because he has that power, so Ricky Simón, a guy that's been put out before, I think he was worried about the power, and that's why he wasn't that relentless, move forward, push that pace guy, and maybe he was also trying to pace himself as well for the 5 rounds. Now, we're back with the 3 rounds. Are we going to get that old school Ricky Simón back, the pushing forward that you were talking about, right? Because that's the Ricky Simón that I'd like too. I'm a big Ricky Simón guy because he is that guy that's moving forward. Gets you against the fence, pop, strike, boom, level change. Oh, he's not great at keeping people down, but it doesn't matter because you get up on the fence, it's a boom, it's another strike, and then boom, right back on, you're getting taken down again, and he can do that for 3 rounds. If he brings that game plan, that tenacity, that old school Ricky Simón against Mario Bautista, he's going to win this fight because Mario Bautista is a guy that I don't want to say is like all hammer, no nail, because he's a tough guy. He's 13-2. He's a very talented fighter. He's a good dude in this division, but when he's not the one moving forward, he is a little bit of a different fighter, and that's how most people are. I mean, you're a little bit different when you're moving backwards. Angelo's going to find that out as well. So, I don't know what's so funny about that little snide little laugh. I'm literally just trying to fucking help you. Like, I'm trying to give you these little things so to like, I mean, Jesus Christ. But, and Mario, to his credit, too, with his striking, I think it's more power than it is technique, and he's not really a powerful guy. I've said this in Discord, and there's only a couple of us in Discord that believe this. I think Ricky's the better striker. I think he's a more tactical striker. Mario is probably the more dangerous guy, but I think Ricky can strike, pressure, get those takedowns. If he doesn't bring the pressure, if he's moving backwards, he's going to lose. But I think if he's moving forward, this old school Ricky, I think he's going to win this fight. But, you know, like I said, I haven't played it. I would put it minus 125. Right now, I think it's way priced out. I have too much respect for Mario than to bet, you know, Ricky Simón at minus 180, minus 200. So,
no, I agree. He should not be a 2-1 favorite. I got him at minus 144, and I love that. I love that bet. And for me to put a full unit, you know, I got to be pretty confident. I don't typically do a full unit on a money line, but it's also heading into the break, so it's pretty loose with the money. But yeah, I think forward pressure wrestling is going to be the difference. As do you, $8,600 in DraftKings. DraftKings loves nothing more than a nonstop wrestler with no ground control. That is like the best way to score points in DraftKings. 5 points, 5 points, 5 points, over and over and over for every single takedown. So both of us on the Ricky Simón side, I will have him in my DraftKings lineup. I do think he's worth that money, especially when you compare him to some of these other $9,100, $9,300 fighters that like only strike. I think Ricky Simón's the type of guy that you can count on him to grapple and get those points on the board. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 a month. You're going to get everything you have ever needed, including the detailed data, metrics, and analytics. This fight, like every other fight on this card, is going to get significant strike lines and round lines and takedown lines. And you can work your way across that spreadsheet and just see how many takedowns is Ricky getting per fight. What's takedown defense of Mario Bautista? What's that average look like? And work your way through and nail those prop bets. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Next up, at UFC Vegas 84, we have the featured fight of the evening. We have veteran Jim Miller taking on Gabriel Benítez. Jim Miller, 36-17 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off that quick knockout win over Jesse Butler. He's taking on Gabriel Benítez, 23-10 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, coming back after a year away. Jim Miller, absolute legend. He's got a whole bunch of records in the UFC just for longevity. Fight minutes, fight time, time in the octagon, number of fights at the weight class. A ton of records in the UFC.
DC says not a Hall of Famer.
That's what DC says about him?
I think it was Jim Miller in DC. I think DC's biggest thing was like, just because you've been around forever.
I don't necessarily disagree.
You're a Hall of Famer.
I don't necessarily disagree because Jim Miller has never broken into the top 10, and I don't think he's beaten anybody in the top 10, but he's fought everybody.
I mean, he's got the exact same record as Phil Hawes. Is Phil Hawes a Hall of Famer? Is Phil Hawes a Hall of Famer?
Anyway, Jim Miller is a legend. A whole bunch of records for longevity, as I mentioned, a bunch of other things. A tried and true vet. He's got all the veteran savvy, toughness, grit you could ever want from somebody. Started his career as a grappler, right? He's a very high level, very good BJJ guy. Started to work in some takedowns, started to work on his striking. When you fight for as long as he does, you'll get good at everything. Now, all of a sudden, he's got power. All of a sudden, at his age, 39 years old, I believe, he's got power. He's knocking people out. Jesse Butler just knocked him out. And that wasn't his first knockout in his last 4 wins? He's got 3 knockouts or 2 knockouts, something like that. All of a sudden, he's got power. He's knocking people out. He's taking on Gabriel Benítez. This guy's a very good kickboxer. Specifically, he's got really nice kicks, solid movement. He picks his shots well, very real power. Takedown defense is 58%. Takedown offense is only 50%. So middle of the bag when it comes to actual wrestling and not striking. But while the grappling tools or the wrestling tools are not there, the grappling is. He's got solid BJJ and he can snatch some things up. He just doesn't really use it. He only has 2 takedowns in 13 UFC fights. I am going to go ahead and pick Jim Miller here, but I'm going to do that with very low confidence. It's impossible to break this guy down at this point. He's old. He's slowing down, but he somehow found power later in his career. He's always been Jersey tough, but Gabriel's the kind of guy, he's very dangerous, but he also gets finished. So I'm going to go with the old, tough, gritty Jersey guy in Jim Miller. Let's all hope he gets through this fight injury-free so we can see him at UFC 300 because famously he fought at UFC 100, he fought at UFC 200, and Dana already said he'll be on 300, but that only happens if he doesn't end up with some sort of injury suspension. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of everyone's darling of the last few weeks, and you've heard it just nonstop. I can't believe this guy's a dog. I can't believe this guy is a dog. And Jim Miller was a dog for quite a while. And if you were a premium member, you would have seen some bets with that dog money. Right now, the odds have even moved. He's a minus 136 favorite. So, WeWon'tPicks.com, you should have got ahead of the game because I do think that Jim Miller is going to win this fight. I think he is the better boxer. He's definitely the better wrestler and grappler. I mean, he is, as you mentioned, people forget how kind of high level this guy is because now he's knocking people out. But people forget that this guy is he submitted Charles Oliveira. I mean, he has been in these high-level grappling exchanges, and he seems to win them more often than not. So in this fight, the thing that worries me, and the thing that I didn't mention that Jim Miller is better at is the kicking of Gabriel Benítez, a former AKA guy. I think he's still at AKA. That's the DC training facility. I actually think he's going to have, they announced that Cain Velasquez is going to be in his corner, which is really cool to see. So Cain should be there in his corner, AKA guy. He just needs Luke Rockhold and DC there to kind of top it off. But while at AKA, in his prime, which he's getting a little bit older as well. I think he's 35, 36 years old, something like that. In his prime, they said that he was the hardest kicker at AKA, which includes Luke Rockhold. And Luke Rockhold is known as like the guy that's got like the hardest kicks in the world. And they said, no, Mowgli can kick harder than Luke Rockhold. So I started watching Jim Miller fights thinking, okay, he fought Donald Cerrone, who is known for his kicks, right? He's known for those kicks. Obviously, it was the last fight of Cerrone's career, so it wasn't prime Cerrone, but in that fight, he did land a little bit of a head kick, but in that head kick situation, that's where he found the scramble. So I watch a few more fights, and I see time and time again this pattern evolving of Jim Miller catching or snatching the kicks or people falling off balance when they're throwing kicks against Jim Miller, and he just blitzes them. I mean, he blitzes on him, he gets in a scrambling exchange, and that's how he's able to get control of people. You saw that against Donald. You've seen that in fights before. So while normally the kicks against somebody that kind of wants to grapple, you're able to keep them at bay, right? You keep them at bay, they can't really close that range. But against Jim Miller, it almost seems like he excels better when people are throwing more kicks. And I think Mowgli throws a lot of kicks, and even when he's not throwing kicks, he will get into brawls. Jim Miller's not a guy that's shown he's ever been chinny in his life, and he's got the power advantage with the hands. So I'm going Jim Miller here. I think he's better pretty much everywhere, as long as he can avoid maybe that head kick that almost snuck in against Cowboy. I think he's going to be just fine in this matchup. You know, Mowgli's a tough dude. He's definitely better than people. People are acting like he's a bum. Mowgli is not a bum, and he is a tough dude as well. But when you're tough in the pocket and you've shown that your chin can give out against Jim Miller, and then maybe that initiates a grappling exchange, I think Jim Miller can get this one done.
Yeah, I mean, we're both on the Jim Miller side here. As you mentioned, you said he's minus 136 now? Mm-hmm. Damn, dude, I did these graphics at 11 a.m. It's 9:30 p.m. Like that. That's a lot of movement in
FOMO.
8 hours.
The people probably went on the website and saw our line movement tracker or whatever and saw that it flipped.
It could be. FOMO. He is the only fighter that has flipped. At one point in time, Phil Hawes flipped, but then he flipped back. So right now, Jim Miller, the only fighter in this card that has flipped. We're both on the Jim Miller side, $8,200 to $8,000. I think if you're going to put one of these guys in your DraftKings lineup, Jim Miller makes more sense at $8,200. I think he has the finishing upside. He could potentially wrestle. We saw the random power in his hands. Where Gabriel Benítez, obviously he's got those leg kicks. He's a dangerous striker himself, but Jim Miller is Jersey tough. So, it says more about Jim's toughness than anything. And before I get annihilated for saying, sort of agreeing with the Hall of Fame comment that you made and saying that Jim Miller never beat anybody in the top 5, top 10, and then you said he submitted Charles Oliveira before Charles was anywhere near a ranking. So Jim Miller has not beaten a ranked opponent during their actual ranking, even though he's beaten a ton of people. So there's always, I hate
just kind of disparage him for no reason.
I just had to go back before somebody was like, because people love doing that fucking shit. If you do want to unlock all the picks, all the bets, I will tell you, we have bets out there, events out. It's not just only this event. We are multiple events ahead. Obviously, the most amount of bets will be for the current event, but we are several events ahead. And as Jacob mentioned, you're going to see bets on there with some incredible odds because no such thing as breaks for us. We were ahead of the curve on a lot of these. Hopefully they win. Otherwise, who cares?
I got a minus 220 bet on the current books for plus 115 for premium members.
And there you go. Unlock that and everything else. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. $1.99 super chat from Dr. Y says, Gatekeeper Reward starts with Jim Miller, sort of implying that find out how good you are going through Jim Miller, and that typically is the case. We just saw that in his last matchup, although Jesse Butler did step up on short notice. Gabriel's established, so this is not.
I hope that if Jim Miller does win this, as I fully expect him to, and he is on 300, I hope that they do him. They don't give him some young dude. Like let's give him a competitive fight. I don't want him to be a gatekeeper, like some killer coming in. I don't know.
Well, what's tricky is Dana White promised UFC 300, every single fight in that card, top to bottom, is killer. Jim Miller's not like a name.
For the main event?
John Jones and Stipe.
No, come on, don't be ridiculous. This is going to sound made up, and it is what it is. But I promise that I saw this according to my sources that
Twitter.
The main event, and this could be breaking news here, people. So settle in. And I just saw it, and it's tracking right now because Dana was supposed to make announcements, and there wasn't announcements, so this is 100% real. The main event for UFC 100 or for UFC 300 is supposed to be a rematch, and that rematch is Ryan Hall and BJ Penn.
It's so fucking done. I thought it was going to be something. What a joke. Next up at UFC Vegas 84, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have a rematch. This is an actual rematch. We got Matheus Nicolau taking on Manel Kape. Matheus Nicolau, 19-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off that knockout loss to Brandon Royval. Taking on Manel Kape, 19-6 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, riding a 4-fight win streak. Matheus Nicolau is a good, clean striker. Incredibly technical, also a pretty competent grappler as well. He's got 10 takedowns in 8 UFC fins. 2 of those were against Manel Kape. He took down Manel Kape twice in their first matchup. When he gets into the ground, he's going to stick with control instead of sort of working towards a submission. If there is one there, he will grab it, but he's not going to chase. He's not going to force anything. He did just snap a 6-fight win streak with an early knockout loss to Brandon Royval. which I guess that could happen when you're fighting Brandon, but Matheus Nicolau is a very, very technical striker. He's taking on Manel Kape. This guy is fast, explosive. He's a very good striker who has no issues chasing knockouts. He is a southpaw. He's got good pressure. He bounces in and out of range really well. He's a decent wrestler when he needs to be, and he closes distance well when he wants to. He's really fun to watch. Sometimes he'll have a little too much fun, make a couple mistakes here and there, but he is coming off that decision win over Felipe dos Santos, where he had the better striking, a knockdown, and a takedown. I mentioned this is a rematch. Manel lost this first fight, and they have said, if they run it back, Manel's going to be the 2-1 favorite. And I get it. If you watch that fight, super close. A lot of people argue that Manel won that fight, but Matheus did work in a couple of takedowns. And Matheus is still a very good technical striker. I am going to pick Manel here, and the only reason I'm really going to pick Manel here is because we just watched Matheus get knocked out cold. We just saw it. It just happened. While Manel is on the other side of that spectrum. His last loss was the very close decision to Matheus. And then since then, he's been winning, putting things together, looking really good. We know he has power. We know he's a slick striker. I think Matheus is going to be a little gun-shy to strike, especially after getting knocked out. He's going to be looking to grapple a lot more, and that's only going to play into what Manel wants, right? Stuff to takedowns, throw big. Stuff to takedowns, throw big. I do think we have another decision on our hands. I do think Manel is going to win this fight because I think Matheus coming off that knockout loss might be a little bit gun-shy. But if Matheus comes in here with a wrestle-heavy game plan and Jacob's fat dog eats his third meal during this breakdown.
His, huh? Way to misgender my dog. Way to fucking misgender my dog.
I say it
if we were ever going to get canceled, right now is when it's going to happen. You misgendering my beautiful, sweetheart dog.
Feminine. Manel is going to be the pick, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Matheus was just knocked out. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, let me preface this by saying I'm a big Matheus Nicolau guy. I mean, I've been screaming for the last couple of years that the power couple of the world, of the UFC, was Matheus and Luana. They were both going to be champions of the world. And then the last couple of fights, we saw Matheus get knocked out, and that broke my absolute heart. I like Brandon Royval, but I was pretty high on Matheus in that fight, and then we saw Luana get absolutely pulled out, knocked out, flatlined by Amanda Hebos. No surprise there. I mean, nobody was surprised by that one. But I love Matheus, and I cannot stand Manel Kape. I'll always be very honest with how I feel about fighters. I can't stand Manel Kape. Why can't I not stand Manel Kape? Because he's a guy that's slamming his fist and doing all the bravado and pumping his chest, and I'm the man, give me a title shot, pop, pop, scaring the absolute fucking shit out of Tai Tuivasa at the press conference, and then he gets into fights and he's just like, and he just doesn't do anything. We've seen so many fights where he just doesn't do anything. And Matheus Nicolau is the exact same way. So in this fight, in a fight that we've already seen, I don't know how you can trust either one of these guys, especially at it's minus 270. Now, for a guy that already lost to this guy once, and he lost fair and square, let's break down the first fight. Matheus came in, got the takedowns in the first round. Boom, got the takedowns. Manel Kape, to his credit, made adjustments. The second that Matheus was not able to get the takedowns in the second round, Manel Kape was lighting his ass up. And there is a major power difference in the two. Matheus, when he's landing, Kape just kind of walks through it. When Kape is landing clean, it is like it was, oh no, back before Matheus already got knocked out again. He's been knocked out before. That wasn't the first time. But before he even got flat, like coming off in the KO loss, he was like, you could tell those shots were definitely affecting him. So Manel Kape was taking over that fight in the second round. I think that's what people are seeing in the odds. Because then the third round starts, and Manel turned in to Manel Kape. He had just had all this success in the striking with stuff in the takedowns, and then was just not doing anything. And Matheus was able to get ahead in the striking department once again, and was able to sneak out that round to the judges. Manel finally, with like a minute left, started throwing power, and guess what? It started affecting Matheus Nicolau. So, I mean, Manel Kape is going to be my pick for this fight, but I don't know how anybody can trust him at almost minus 3-1 money, minus 300 money in that right. I think that if he stuffs his takedowns, which I believe he is going to, and he lands power, he can definitely put out Matheus Nicolau. But Sometimes he just doesn't do anything. So I'm picking Manel Cop. I got a little bit more specific. I didn't want to I'm not going to pay the fucking money line. I'm not going to pay $270 to watch Manel Cop dance around and me tear my fucking hair out. I'm going to place it. I'm going to get a little bit more specific with it. Premium members know what that is. And let's try to chase a little bit more value in there. But I'm going Manel Cop, but it's like fucking whatever.
That was a good breakdown, Jakey boy. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
That's what I do.
Not always.
That's why I'm the fucking
fucked up.
Thank God I'm here.
Lock of the weeks in a row there. We're both on the Manel. I said you fucked up 4 lock of the weeks in a row. I said.
And last time I lost 4 in a row. What the fuck happened, Angelo?
So you've been that bad more than once.
And what the fuck happened?
I don't know, but we ended up back where you started.
I don't know. I won 10 in a fucking
back
row.
Where you started.
I lost 4 in a row, won 10 in a row, which will never be duplicated until I do it like 10 times this year, over and over again. Fucking dominate. 4 in a row, guess what? Okay, here's fucking 10 in a row for you. Return ROI over 27%. All time. I'm 45 and 44 all-time picks on lock of the week. That's 89 fights. Every single fighter is supposed to lose, and more than half have fucking won. We're up like 20-something units.
Can you pick a 3-1 favorite that got flatlined in 30 seconds?
What? What do you just make stuff up?
Pat Sabatini wasn't in that list?
He was lock of the week on another card with a dog. I didn't just pick a favorite just to pick a favorite.
Every single one of these fighters was supposed to lose. Well, he did. He sure fucking did, didn't he?
Hey, sorry. Hey,
we both
the Sabatinis watch sometimes, and I'm a big fan of your son, and I want to apologize for the way Angelo's talking about him.
I'm talking about your pick. Anyway, we're both on the Manel Cop side. Do you trust him $9,000 in DraftKings?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. We just talked about what was Ricky Simone, like 8,300. Why the hell would you get Manel Cop over Ricky Simone when we're talking about those prices? Yes, Matheus was just knocked out, and yes, Manel Cop has that kind of power. But
and Manel was also. I don't think Matheus really is. He's a precise striker, but he doesn't have a lot of power. But we do have to reference that Manel Cop was put on skates a little bit in that last fight. But that was a really good striker that he was facing. But he was. I mean, that was a young kid.
Yeah.
UFC debut that put him on skates a little bit. So.
Felipe dos Santos. So yeah, we're both on the same side here, but no DraftKings play. It's just, it's a lot of money to spend on a striker that potentially could win by knockout, or we could end up in a decision because, as Jacob said, kind of a low volume guy. If you do want to check out all the picks and the bets and everything else, WeWantPicks.com, click become a member. Next up, at UFC Vegas 84, we have the main event of the evening. This is another rematch. We got Magomed Ankalaev taking on Johnny Walker. Close out some unfinished business. These guys fought a couple of months ago. There was a little bit of an exchange. Magomed Ankalaev had a takedown there, a couple of illegal knees. Fight was...
I'm in the desert.
Fight was ended. I'm in the desert.
I mean, you should know what that reference is.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I'll let you walk through that. But yeah, they asked Johnny Walker. He took the illegal knees to the head. They stood him up. They said, whoa. Where are you? He said, I'm in the desert. That referee was like, incorrect answer, even though they're literally in the middle of the desert. And then they said no contest because this guy's brains are scrambled. Anyway, they're running it back. The main event at UFC Vegas 84. Ankalaev, 18-1-2. 18-1-2. This guy is coming off back-to-back fights without an outcome. He had a decision or a draw against Jan Blachowicz, and then now the no contest against Johnny Walker. He's taking on Johnny Walker. This guy is 21-7 overall. 30, a short notice one too. Well done. 3-1-1 in his last 5. He is riding a nice 3-fight win streak before that no contest. We saw this fight already, but let's go ahead and break it down. We got Ankalaev. This guy's a long, technical kickboxer who can work in some wrestling as well. He does have some power in his feet. Very versatile in his attack style. He'll work in some big kicks. He'll work in some solid strikes. If he does get in trouble striking, he will look to wrestle. He averages about 1 takedown per 15 minutes. He has 1 single loss. That was literally a last-second loss to Paul Craig in his UFC debut. Not a very exciting guy, but he is a very skilled guy. The exact opposite on that spectrum is Johnny Walker. Not the most technical guy, but holy crap, is he fun to watch.
Fuck off.
Oh, he's technical?
Yeah. Do you watch that dismantling of Anthony Smith?
The dismantling of a... Okay. Johnny Walker's humongous. He's 6'6". He's athletic. He's just fast, powerful. He's wild. He's fun to watch. He gets very creative with his striking.
Wait, are you talking about Johnny Walker? Or are you talking about me?
I said 6'6", not 5'6". He will spin, he'll jump, he'll do all those things. He's very unorthodox, very dangerous because of those crazy techniques, and he has legit power everywhere. He can also snatch up submissions whenever he wants. He did struggle for a little bit between 2021 and 2022, sort of in that range. He first went to Ireland, went to the SBG gym there, the Connor gym, and they tried to turn him into a technical striker. That is not who Johnny Walker is. So he's trying to play these technical games. He's just staring at people, not doing what he's supposed to do, and he's losing those fights. He seems to have found himself again. In that last fight, he was having fun. He was spinning. It did lead to a takedown. He got taken down genuinely. But, at least he's that fun, exciting guy. Because the only way Johnny Walker wins this fight, or most of his fights, is if he is that fun, unorthodox guy. Spinning, jumping, leaping, just being that wildly athletic. We saw glimpses of it in the last fight. And I don't think Ankalaev liked it. Which is why he was like, fuck this. Let me get a takedown. And then he worked the takedown. He got the takedown. I do think Ankalaev wins this fight as well. I think he's going to have the same game plan. Let me just come forward and get takedowns. I need a freaking win. It's been a couple of years before I have a win on my record. Let me just get this guy out of here. I think Ankalaev is going to win because of that. Johnny Walker is too big, too athletic, too fast. He could make anything happen at any moment. Ankalaev is going to be the pick. I'm expecting a wrestle-heavy game plan from him. The over on the rounds makes a lot of sense to me because I think Ankalaev is just going to grind, close the distance, and then work in that range. I'm not touching him at minus 500, not nearly as much confidence as you should have in a guy at those odds. But Ankalaev will be the pick. I expect a lot of wrestling. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, here's what I'll say about this fight. Is there's two things that are very interesting about this fight. One of them is if Ankalaev comes in like a typical fight that he's going to fight, he's going to stay at distance and just kind of poke and be kind of that boring decision fighter that he can be, he should win this fight. The issue is what we saw in that last fight is two things. Number one, I think you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I don't think he really enjoyed that range. I think people get inside the octagon with Johnny Walker. And yeah, you've had your face-offs and this and that, but when that dude's standing in front of you, the way that he stands and the power that he possesses, I think that the distance and the range that he's able to give some of these light heavyweights really kind of makes him be like a little bit uncomfortable, right? I agree. I think he was once he got in that clinch position, he's like, okay, this is much better than staying at range with Johnny Walker. Not that he can't do it, but I mean, he's a fucking really good fighter. He can do it. But I think it's a little bit of a pause for concern. The reason I bring that up is because after that last fight, there seemed to be a little bit of an emotion. And maybe it was just kind of that heat of the moment where we're trying to fight, we're in the fight, this and that. But I think there's a little bit of animosity between these two. And Ankalaev, if he comes in and fights just a little bit more emotional than he is and is pushing forward a little bit too much, Johnny Walker is a guy between the two that is 10 times the more dangerous fighter. And if this starts turning into an emotional, what people I think it's going to be, because I was surprised that this line was 1.5. Then the over is minus 140, so people are kind of betting the over on it. But I feel like this should be just kind of Ankalaev just kind of poking at him for 3 or 4 rounds or whatever, maybe finding a finish late. But if people think that this is going to be a wham bam thank you ma'am type of fight, I think I like Johnny Walker in that type of fight. In a phone booth, throwing wild. I know that Johnny Walker has been knocked out before, but I think those chin issues are a little bit overblown. There's some powerful guys and some weird shots and some weird knockouts. I mean, I think he's been knocked out like 6 times in one fight and just kept getting up and stuff like that. But, I'm taking a little bit of a flyer here just because I think that there's going to be a firework happen. And I think Johnny Walker can bring the gunpowder to a firework type of fight and ignite that and explode in Ankalaev's face and knock him out. And I think he's going to find a shot. I'm going with a flyer here. I'm going with Johnny Walker to get it done, baby. I think he's a more dangerous fighter.
I mean, I don't think he wins, obviously. I do.
Oh, you don't know fucking shit, dumbass.
I completely agree he's the more dangerous fighter, but I don't. Yeah. Fucking with that one. Felt nice to get that one out.
I like that you just kept it moving. Like, all right, well.
What am I gonna do? Yes, I do. Yes, I do know. What am I gonna do? That's
how you usually act in person, and I just slap the shit out of you.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't talk to me.
You always look at me. You can't talk to me like that.
Yeah,
you
I'm the
can't
one
talk
looking
to
up.
me like that. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Bagel Man. I'm Bagel Man. Bagel guy.
I know.
Anyway. Yeah, I disagree with your pick, obviously. There is a world where Johnny Walker wins this fight, which is why I'm not touching these odds. Ankalaev should not be minus 500. Because, yeah, he got that takedown in the first fight. I think that literally is because, to your point and my point, which you made a point to make, I don't think he was liking that range. I don't think he was liking what Johnny was doing. He's like, let me just get this out of here. And I think that's what this fight's going to look like. I think he's going to come forward almost immediately, look to wrap Johnny up and close that distance, get it to the ground. But should be a fun fight. It's a very good main event.
I don't know if I think he's raw dog, Johnny. I don't think you can wrap him up. I think he does what he does. I think he's pretty el natural.
You proud of yourself? Yeah, you proud of yourself? A good one? Yeah.
I mean, that's just honest to God. I think he seems like
sure. Yeah, no, it does seem like that kind of guy. Wasn't he sending those pictures to underage girls?
I just remembered that I've seen his penis.
You saw the pictures he was sending to underage girls?
I've seen the video of him popping at him out of those boxer briefs, man. And that thing is, not a lot of girth, but I think it's more than adequate, seemed to me.
And that was what was happening, right? He was sending that video to underage girls or something?
Allegedly, I don't know. I'm not going to...
Well, it's all alleged, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But were they underage or they were of age?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm not going to fucking...
Well, you're the one who's seen the video. You've seen the video.
I sought out the video. I'm trying to...
sought out the video.
What about Woodley? You're the one that was like, dude, you were sending me all the fucking screenshots of Tyrone Woodley. And
I didn't send any screenshots or anything. I did say... Oh, people saying it was fake and it wasn't him.
That wasn't his dick? Whose dick did I see, huh? Whose dick was that?
I need to get in touch with somebody. But
just some random dude on Twitter that's trying to flash everyone like, oh, I found the video of Johnny.
It is. But what do you guys think?
Yeah. He's just reading the comments of being like, oh, man, why is it so white? And
white, freckled, salamanderish. Oh, got to the bottom of that. Not a lot of girth, but definitely, you could definitely make something happen, right, Jake?
Whatever dick I saw was more than adequate. I'll tell you that. It was good to go.
Anyway,
I know what one of those looks like.
$6,800 in DraftKings for Johnny Walker. He's not the worst underdog on this card. Certainly should be in a few of your large field GPP tournament type entries. He could absolutely make something happen in one of those. Johnny Walker, for Christ's sake, this guy can fly and spin and do all the things. Not going to spend the $9,400 on Ankalaev. While I do think he wrestles, and we do have 5 rounds to work with, he may also, to your point, just jab and do nothing like he did against Jan Blachowicz for 5 full rounds. Guys, unlock every single bet we have. 6 other analysts worth of insight and information. The DraftKings information, the DraftKings ownership projections, the optimizer. We have content for FanDuel. We have Prize Picks. We have Underdog. We have tools, all sorts of stuff. WeOwnPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. You unlock every single one of those things instantly. You're also going to get those detailed data, metrics, and analytics. You're going to get the line movement tracker with opening odds, current odds, win probability, and line movement for every single fighter on every single fight card. You're going to get 8 analysts total. That includes MMA Minute. This guy's got 30,000 on Tiki Taki, Running Mouth MMA. Wow. Artem breaking down far more than just UFC and Pick Doctor. Giving you AI picks. Don't forget your premium member survey. If you're a premium member, we emailed it to you. It is also on your account page. This feedback is what drives what we do here. You guys say you like something, then let's go ahead. Let's double down, invest money, do all those things. We put a whole bunch of options on there, and we're going to take those results and build out premium, make it better. Josh is already working away at some of the next evolution. And follow the socials. That is 100% free. Jakey boy, any last words for the people?
Michigan national champs. We feel good about that. 2024 is off to a fantastic start. I just want to say, we've said thank you for 2023, 2022, but I'm telling you right now, 2024 is going to get fucking wild for We Want Picks. So sit down, relax, join Premium, join the party, join the family. You could be one of those people that said you were one of those day one supporters, Premium members, only $10 a month, because this shit's about to get fucking wild. And we're going to have a lot of fun with it, and we can't thank you guys enough. Like the stream, subscribe if you're new. I'm pretty good at those, man. I'm pretty good at just cutting a little promo.
You are good at those. Now, 2023 was an incredible year for us. I don't know if anybody's had as good of a year as we had in 2023. So let's continue to ride that success. Guys, thanks for hanging out. We had almost 400 people live on a freaking late-ass Tuesday night.
Back,
thanks so
baby.
much.
Lock of the week tomorrow. We're back, baby.
Are you live
streaming Saturday?
There you go. There it is.
Oh, and it's going to be a grand old time.